And welcome back, footy fans, to another episode of Donnie's Disposals. I'm your host, Coach Donnie Hess here. And if you were watching the YouTube channel, you're probably going, holy crap, there's a lot of people on this thing. Because welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Donnie's Disposal Fantasy Footy Draft. This is our Zoom call with all of my friends who are joining us. There's only two members that are not actually here, so I'll introduce everybody when it comes to it. You know most of us when it comes to it. Many of us are footy heads or a combination of any of that. We have the Yank on the footy, Craig Wessels. We have Lee Howard, my one of my Frio Docker supporters, who I had the lovely pleasure of talking with earlier this year. The man, the myth, the legend that is Gil Griffith, footyology writer and extraordinaire. We have both the Stees and the Don from the Stees and Don YouTube channel on the podcast. Benjamin and half of the Americans watching the footy. We have Benjamin Castle joining us, and he's not in the picture, but he is joining us via his phone. Rick Shaibani also as well, part of the group. The two members that are not here is Ethan Castle, Ben's brother from Americans Watching the Footy, and producer Ross, who has just celebrated the birth of his first child. A little bit busy, but he is drafting as we speak. So that's going to be it. Gentlemen, it's great to see all of you again. It's great to have you on. We are almost all the way through the first round of our draft. We're starting into the second round. Steve's with his second consecutive pick hopping on here. Gentlemen, it's great to hear from you all. How's everybody going?
Everybody took the damn rocks. There you go.
What a great way to start.
Well, don't they always?
We actually are all the way through the first round, and
Yep.
Steez has another pick right now.
Yep.
Yeah, all the rucks pretty much got taken right away. No one with injury concerns yet outside of Rowan Marshall, though I think he's expected to play round one,
Yep.
just recovering from his hip injury. Would love to see
Crossing-
Marshall
crossing
be
my
in more
fingers
of
it
a
doesn't burn me.
would love to see Marshall in more of a tandem this year because it's worked so well in the past, having a guy like Paddy Ryder with him. And they did sign two rucks this year with Harry Boyd from Norwood and Alex Dodson coming through in the draft from, I think, Sturt. Yeah, it's still getting to me. Getting the Fox Footy draft sound in my ear.
It is weird. The first I was like, what the heck is that? And then it's like, oh yeah, it's the Fox Footy draft, the draft thing. The draft pick is in.
Players got picked, bro.
You
Oh,
can't set your mind on anything. There's just too many picks in between.
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of us, it's going to be we're going to have to wait something like 18 picks sometimes.
Up to all just depending on where you are.
that's tough.
The craziest part about it is that the first place and last place are really interesting because it's you get two in a row and then you don't have anything for a long period of time. So
Got time to make hot pockets.
pretty much.
If I was
And
eating, if I was eating hot pockets.
if anybody saw my episode with you, Donnie, this will not be a surprise to anyone. Sam
Yeah,
Flinders.
he was one of those I was seriously thinking about reaching for him with my second pick if nobody did, just because he was a points machine last year. He was nuts.
And not just that, he's listed as dual position.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
And
always been my
That's
strategy.
Lee's jam.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, one of the main reasons I won the league a couple years ago was because I made bank with Tim Taranto as a mid forward.
Most people do.
Actually, is Taranto listed as that again? I'm
I
not
don't
sure
think
if he
so.
is, or he's full time
you can
mid.
check you can check the dual position players.
He should be listed as pure mid for what it's worth.
He should,
is.
but he's not.
No, he is now.
Oh, he is just a mid.
hmm
There's some interesting dual guys that I'm gonna be fascinated to see.
That's tough.
There's a couple that I'm sitting here going, they're gonna be interesting.
I'd like to nominate my brother for the best team name.
I don't know. I'm sad drafting with the Dunny has disappeared. That was still one of my favorites.
Yeah,
Drafting on the Dunny was still one of my favorite names ever.
Well, that was a true story from him from
Yeah,
year
'cause-
one, but
Yeah, because he was on the Dunny as he was drafting, so that's why he changed
I,
the team name.
he had pick
Oh,
one
that made
when
me
that happened,
laugh.
but I see he knows his judo well.
Yep.
Well, you're gonna either get pick 1 or pick 2 there. I mean, it's it's
Yeah.
Yeah, Ethan's name, by the way, for those of you who can't see this is Footy Manifest.
Mhm. Wow.
He just got Sarong, and that's a solid pick there.
Yeah, I'm not.
Ah, good one, Craig.
yeah. I just want to make sure I get at least one cat on there, and we'll might as well get him early.
Yep.
I only have my eye
He's-
on a couple Eagles. Well, the early stages anyway.
I'm really interested to see because there's a couple of swans that I'm sitting here going, I may try to reach for just because I think that they're due for breakout seasons this year. I'm
Ben
just
ruined my
interested.
plan with my Blues, man. Thanks, Ben.
So I gotta ask, fellas, everybody, we're within a week. How excited are you guys for game one on Thursday night?
Well, we'll see if it happens Thursday night.
Why is that?
Cyclone.
Oh, really?
There's a chance that they could get, I think I saw some of the predictions were like 60 plus millimeters of rain.
Yeah, as someone down here in the in Hurricane Alley in the United States, um, that ain't no joke.
yeah,
You
Yeah,
don't want to
that's
be playing in that.
Nope.
yeah. I
yeah.
mean,
That
The inter
hopefully the forecast for what is it, Storm Alfred improves. But I mean, I'm so amped for this. It's my sleeping schedule has already gone to pot, and it's only going to get worse.
Mhm.
I've been adjusting myself.
Yeah. What is it? I mean, for a lot of y'all though, like the early games are sunrise footy.
No, well, not until we get these not until we get these daylight savings switches.
Hmm.
My
Yeah.
my Friday night footy game for the Swans is 2:40 in the morning my time.
Yeah, we all the way on the East Coast, so that's 3 for us.
Yeah,
I'm in
now
my
until once we get spring forward for us and then Australia springs forward here in like the next couple of weeks, it's going to go from 3 to 5. So
Yep.
yeah.
that's kind of the weird part about the early season is the fact is that I can't really put times down because it's going to change because of daylight savings. So
I'm in my
Now,
transfer.
fellas, as we're looking at the draft board right now, I think that Coxzilla's is auto drafting, and
Yeah,
poor guy has Errol Goulden at the very top of the board, and I think that we all just saw that there's a fractured leg
fractured
there
ankle,
possibly. Yeah, so we're just waiting to see if it
which is
that
really
auto
weird because
drafts
Ross
the
Ross
injury.
told me he was going to be on drafting.
So it'll be interesting to see, but it's
them
I
diapers
think
don't change themselves.
He's
Has he
got
changed
he's
his queue, or is he getting damaged goods? He changed his queue.
no.
he changed his
Okay.
cue.
Good for him.
He's damaged too, though. Yeah, he hurt right now.
Tom
Yeah,
Green is a
he is
little off
auto
too.
drafting, but he must have
He
switched
might
things up
yeah.
because he took one of his own boys.
Yep.
He was the highest rank at the time.
Yeah. We've got, let's see, just trying to remember the sort of spread here between
Well,
uh,
wow.
fans of different bases. We got a couple Frio fans in here, a couple Giants fans, two Eagles fans,
Yes, indeed.
two Cats and one Blues and one Swans.
Yep. Wow.
Ooh,
Yeah, I
Isaac
was telling.
Heaney, like
I
that.
just I hope he has the season he had last year. I worry he's not. I'm being bluntly honest with you, Gil. I worry about him this year.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Not to rain on the parade. I'm still at a disadvantage by not seeing everybody possible to draft. So I'm kind of flying blind here and trying to put together something.
I mean, if you keep scrolling down, you'll be able to
Well,
see
that's the thing. I don't think
kind
he
of.
can. I don't think he can because I don't. He
Yeah.
doesn't have the scroll wheel on his mouse.
Hmm.
I don't either. You just need to use.
Yeah, and I can't make it go by position, or I'm just seeing every name out there in well, some of them are not in alphabetical order. It's just sort of a
Yeah, you
random.
can. Gil,
Yeah,
okay, you know the part where it says pre-draft list.
I don't see that on my screen.
If you have the box, it should be right under pre-draft because it says pre-draft list stats club, right?
I don't see that anywhere.
This just feels like Craig from a couple years ago. I'm
I
sorry,
know
man.
exactly. I feel horrible. Share your screen here. Share your screen with us again. Let's see if we can figure
Okay,
this
hold
out.
on.
Everybody's gonna get to see all the technical. I'll keep
Okay.
track of this. I'm gonna try to help him out. If you guys want to chat, I'll see if I can fix his
I mean, they
issue.
totally changed the interface here. It's a new app
Oh
on the
yeah,
phone as well.
it's a completely different thing. Oh, okay. I know why you don't have it. Okay. X out. See that search for player? X out of it.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Now, what you can do to change position, just click on, you see it says def 06, mid 15.
Yeah,
Click
yeah.
on
So
that.
in other words, I've picked a midfielder and I've picked a ruckman.
Yeah, but if you
Yes.
click on that, what it'll do is
It'll show you the ones that are there.
It'll show you the top mids. Like here, click on def 0. Click
And
on
how did
def. See, so that only shows you mids.
Wait,
You got Sam Walsh.
it was just my turn again?
Yeah, because
Mhm.
you were at the
Yeah,
top of the
it's a
draft.
snake.
You snaked around. You got to pick twice there. Well, yeah.
Well,
It ain't a bad start for you, though.
Okay.
yeah, I suppose so.
So here, Gil, click on the forward part next. You see that DPP? Click on the forward there. FWD06.
Yeah,
That'll show you only forwards.
yeah. Okay,
But you got
okay.
to click off the mid thing, though.
Yep,
You got to click off the mid.
Yep. So
Okay.
that'll show you only forwards. If you click on click on that forward again. Now
It'll
click
go
on
into all.
Rux.
Click on what?
Click on Rux, the one to its left.
Yep.
That'll show you only Rux.
Yeah, yeah.
Does that make sense now?
Yeah,
Now,
it makes sense. But if you look at this, I can't see all of them on the screen as I used to be able to do.
Well, now you're
If you look, you see where Isaac
Well,
Heaney's
what-
picture is right on the right hand side of your screen.
Yeah.
In between there, there should be a drag down bar that allows you to kind of scroll down. Maybe if you made if you filled your page with your screen there, it might give
he's
you the whole
definitely
thing
auto,
there.
Ross is definitely auto
Yeah.
drafting because it finally gave him Errol Golden.
It might give
Oh
you.
boy.
Okay, try sliding your screen a little bit to the right past where it says ADP because you've got 3 more columns beyond that with then a drag and drop menu there. So go down to where and kind of just try to slide. There you go. Now next on the right hand side of buy round, there should be a drop down bar. So it should allow you to slide up and down then.
Oh, see,
And you may
well,
so
yeah.
you may have to go back and forth then sliding left and right, but it should allow you to do that then.
Maybe a
Okay.
semi reach on this one, but I just have a
Yeah,
feeling.
thanks
this
for
guy,
letting me know.
You're no problem. Okay, now you can unshare because I think we got you help you figured it out now.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Gil. We're trying to help
Hmm.
as much as we can. So
Well,
No,
it's
no,
also
I
a brand new.
appreciate that.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
also a brand new interface as well. So we were used to the old interface for the last 2 or 3 of these, and now
Yeah,
we're
that's right.
doing something totally different.
Coach, I don't think Dan Houston's a reach at all.
How you think you were going to be?
Dan Rioli was actually higher amongst the rankings with this, but I'm still not 100% sold on Gold Coast.
Well, their half-back group is now so crowded as well. Like you got Dan Rioli and John Noble that you brought in there.
Yeah,
Plus
well,
you
and
got
that's where Sam Flanders was resting too, so
Mhm.
that's not helping you.
That's
So-
why I see him getting pushed into the middle, and I'm more curious kind of about the roles that maybe someone like Will Powell might play. Maybe if he gets some wing time then.
Yeah.
I mean, because you got some running machines there on the Suns. What my brother and I were talking about recently is just when it comes to the bottom teams, take last year's bottom 3. What is going to keep us excited about those beyond like round 5? Like, is there anything you're looking for in terms of
Honestly,
Richmond North?
I'm gonna do a bold statement. It might anger somebody. Don't be surprised if the doggies are bottom four this year.
You think
Is that because of the injuries in part?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Shalor, Bontempelli, English are all hurt, and they're all not going to play in at least the first 3 to 4 rounds.
And we've
Jamar
seen
ain't
them
starting
be
either.
and we've seen them be a dramatically different team and not for the better when
Yep.
all those guys are out.
Yeah.
So
And you lose your depth. Caleb Daniel goes away, so there's some depth running away. Are you going to throw? Is Riley Sanders going to get the keys to the center? Um, how does Libba handle being by himself? Can Libba get through a whole season without another concussion issue? How do they handle their forward line? Liam Jones is also out, who was one of their best intercepting defenders. Can you guarantee that everything's going to work out? Like there's a lot of drama in my personal opinion. I don't like what's happening at the Doggies. I just think there's too much turmoil there, and I think it's gonna eat up Bevo.
you think that's gonna keep them bottom three?
Yep.
Yeah, like,
It's really hard to get out of the gauntlet if you're 0-6 to start the year. Only 4 teams have made finals after going 0-6 ever.
Let me see what
So
the first 6 matches are.
Can we agree on one thing?
what?
The Gold Coast Suns have absolutely the worst logo I have ever seen in my life. I mean, that is
The new
just the
new
most,
change is horrible. That is
I mean, that
atrocious.
is, I mean, not only is it hideous, it's ambiguous. I mean, there is just,
It
I
makes no sense, and it
yeah, it makes
actually
absolutely no sense. I showed my high school kids that logo, and not knowing AFL, not knowing, they were like, their first thing is, what is that?
another thing that I find interesting is it actually now makes their song null and void
Yeah, yeah, that's
because
right.
they're
The
not
red,
blue
gold,
and
and
gold. They
blue.
don't have blue and gold in their thing
Right,
anymore.
They have it
right.
on their class jumper,
Yeah, true.
but their
You
class
know,
jumper looks
So the
like, will
doggy,
the
so
real
the
Eagles
doggy,
please stand up?
so I just pulled it up. Doggy's first match, North Melbourne. I'm seriously thinking about tipping North in that game. Seriously.
I'm
Collingwood, Carlton, Fremantle, Brisbane, St. Kilda. That's their first 5. That's their first 6 games.
I mean, most of
Honestly,
those are tough matches
they
anyway.
could be two. They could be 2-4. I think is best out of the first 6. They could be 0-6 after the first 6 rounds.
That might work in their advantage, though. Give some players some time to come back while they get some hard games out the way.
True, but then the problem is it doesn't get much easier. GWS,
Yeah,
Port
I'm looking at
Adelaide,
it
Gold
now.
Coast, Essendon, Geelong before their bye in round 12. I'm not trying. I'm not trying to be controversial, but I wouldn't shock me if the doggies are bottom 4.
so, hey, I'll tell you what, I've made the argument, and that's what I'm kind of doing with my preview episode, my ladder prediction. I haven't recorded
These,
it
I
yet,
think
but
you just got a steal in the draft here. Messiah Wangani Miller, legit.
yeah.
That kid was cooking at the end of next year. If he's anything like he was last year, he's going to be a steal.
Looked like he picked up where he left off at the All-Star game too.
Pretty much.
I like that kid a lot. It wasn't he like top 3 in their best and fairest?
Yep.
There you go.
Well, that and the thing is that I think Sinclair was fighting injury, so we'll have to see how much of an impact he is. And does Sinclair get moved more to the center?
Trevor Barker Award last year, it was it? I'm thinking probably Wilkie, then was it Isaiah's second actually? Trying to find the table, but my pick's up, so let's put that on hold.
There we go.
Yeah, Isaiah was one I was about to pick up before Steve jumped in. He went with the double saint actually.
And you took Crip, so I got to return the favor, man.
I'm not even a Saints fan.
Well, no,
Well, the Saints did make
The only way you might have got him is if you had to take Harley Reid.
I wouldn't even mind.
Yeah, I
There's
wasn't.
only one Eagle that I consider that highly in this and it ain't him. Um,
So if he's available, are you going to take him or are you going to let him ride?
What happened?
I'm testing Ben. I'm testing Ben if the one Eagle that he says is worth drafting, would he draft if they were available at a certain time?
I might even pounce at the end of at like by round 5 or 6, but
Probably shouldn't have took Steele.
I mean, I honestly think this next one is a reach, but he's ranked low, but I've got to take him while he's still available, and that is the horny one.
Oh, I was looking at him too.
I was too.
I didn't know Deshaun Watson played footy.
Yeah, you made my decision a lot easier because that just
Well,
took one right off the board.
especially with Zach Butters out to start the year because he had arthroscopic stuff on his knee, then that's going to open even more time up for him. I mean, the other guy I'm really keen on for Portland, I'm not going to draft him because his fantasy output is up and down, but one of my favorite guys in general in the league is Willem Drew.
Well, I'm interested to see what Craig thinks of the prospects of Bailey Smith as a Geelong Cat because
I
that's
think
where I was going.
I think the club should this year have adopted like an alternative jersey where they have a few less hoops on the jersey and just more wear like a crop top kind of thing. They'd have sold a hell of a lot more membership to young female fans.
Oh my God.
Just like a deep V-neck or something.
Literally.
Yeah.
That is funny.
I thought the Brisbane Lions were going to be the one to go with like crop top or a shirtless approach after the Devin Robertson thing at the end of 2023.
I am hoping he's available for round one. I sounds like he should be available for round 0, but I'm a tiny bit worried on Grunt because he had a little bit of a knee niggle earlier. So I'm gonna pull one out that I want to see what you guys think of this one because I honestly think this could be a recruit of the year.
I think I know who you're going with. Yup. I didn't realize that he was actually listed as a forward as well. It
He's
seems
a
that,
double. He's a double.
yeah.
He's a mid
The
forward.
thing is with Adelaide, they've got a lot of these role players. They're guys who could be second and third in the midfield. And if you're thinking like who's going to be that number one guy, I think ultimately it would fall on probably Jake Saligo, and I'm not sure he's the type to back in.
No. All my Crow supporters I talk with, Saligo is a bane of their existence. So
Had a couple strong games that I remember in particular last year, like that first showdown, I think. But I can't see him as a number one guy. Like you're gonna have to. It's going to be by committee there, and I don't think it's going to be pretty. Though I love the guys they brought in, especially Neil Bolin and Jimmy Peatling, who has just great footy and sticks full oval.
mhm.
Was maligned at the Giants to be a substitute so often. Rick, I can imagine you probably were wanting to see Peatling playing more these past couple years too.
Yeah, yeah. I think he'll definitely get more minutes in 2025. Would be shocked if he doesn't start at least several games. We'll see how he goes.
I mean, I'd put him on right away, and now Gill's loading up on his home guys. Don't get high of your own supply, man.
Sometimes you got to go with what you know.
You know what, how about, should I share my screen so that the viewers on YouTube could maybe see the full draft board?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, let
The only
me-
thing though is then we're gonna see your strategy if somebody does that.
Nah, I'm on the phone mostly, and I've got
Sure.
everything down, so
Oh, so you're drafting via the phone, so you can have that open for if you want to. It's
Yeah.
gonna minimize us.
Well, that's fine. We're not that sexy to begin with. We're not
We got
Bailey
we
Smith
got
or
fa-
anything.
Are you saying we got faces
Speak
for
for
radio?
yourself.
What are you trying to tell us?
I don't know. I've been sitting in front of my computer way too long today, I think is what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah.
all right. Since we're talking season preview, I thought let's have some fun right now. Who's your bold? Who, in your opinion, is your bold move? The team that's going to do something that's going to surprise somebody, good or bad. I don't care who starts with it. What is a team this year that's going to do something that's going to surprise somebody,
Okay,
whether good
I've
or
got
bad?
it. I'm on the record of having said it in several of my preview episodes this year. North Melbourne is playing finals this year.
Ooh,
Hmm.
please explain.
I just think that that group of youngsters has come along pretty well, and they brought in just enough veteran leadership to help supplement that. And I think that you know Nick Larkey's got a lot of help up front now that I think and he's also going to be my tip for the Coleman this year.
Having
Bobby.
Darling up there should help a lot.
Yeah.
There was a question about who that number two guy was on the tall side last year. I mean, it felt like who was that? I think Bryn Teakle had a little bit of that time up there, and while it was a good story, I just couldn't see him as that main tall support. But
Who
yeah,
had
having
Hawthorne in the
Darling,
Who had Hawthorne in the eight last year? Not many.
I did.
So, did you?
I didn't.
Yep. I was high on when Hawthorne was down at the bottom. I just really liked what they had going on. Uh, I didn't quite expect them to finish as high as they did, but
Yeah.
and to be as convincing offensively as they were. But I did see the potential in what they had.
they built from the inside out. That was a big thing there, and that Newcomb Day Nash triumvirate
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
dynamite. I mean, Will Day unlocks the potential of so many other guys on that team because he's so versatile. When Day's in there, it allows Nash to be a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see North. I see North jumping out of the bottom six, but I haven't gone as far as one of my
Finals.
fellow teachers, or well, I'll be a teacher soon enough. It's amazing. We got 3 teachers in the league of 10.
How'd you pull that
Yep.
one off?
I'm a teacher of the footy, if you will.
Well, then you can include coach then too, make it 5.
There we go.
And
I don't know.
I'm kind of envious.
I don't know why, but I feel this guy's going to have a breakout season.
Well,
Yeah.
that's another one of my thoughts there. Yep.
Another guy that the Saints have been trying to throw as much money as possible at. Though apparently they did not offer Finn Callahan $17 million over 10 years. Jawan, that was not the eagle I was talking about, so thank you.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah, hey, and just reminder, since I'm not sure if everybody got this. Remember, there are 5 interchanges this year instead of 4 because we did 2 less teams this year since we're doing 10 instead of 12. I thought let's give everybody one extra player since there's 23 for an AFL roster. I thought let's do 23 for ours. So with 2 less teams, I thought it's easy for us to fill out a fifth interchange. So
Excuse me.
I believe that there still will be the ability to emergency all 5. I don't think there's any rule about doing multiple midfielders anymore, but I'll keep an eye on it to be sure.
So
Okay.
what you're telling me, Donnie, is that there's a place for me to stash Bontempelli at the end of the draft.
I mean, if you want to. I don't
I
know
mean,
if
you
I
could
would
just
be
take him
telling.
now.
I don't know if I would be telling everybody that. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing it now either. But if we're down in the need somebody 6 weeks out that's going to be coming on, yeah, that's one of
Pretty
those
much.
guys.
Interesting pick by Ethan to take Tuke. I'm still divided on Tuke, especially later part of his career, and also with Flanders probably pushing middle now.
Gold
I'll
Coast
tell
better
you-
do something because
I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah,
I'll
I
tell
had
you
my
one
eye
thing
on
though.
Tuke
I'll tell you one
myself.
thing though. When Ross's team gets healthy, they're gonna have a scary midfield just to the first 4 that he got. I mean, legit. When they're all healthy and back, he's gonna have a scary midfield. Just those
Ethan
first
just
4.
texted me. Ethan just texted me. God damn it, Craig! I wanted Raoul.
No. Sorry, I went ahead and had a Rowell movement before he got there.
By the way, Matt Rowell, we heard the grass at Cardinia Park tastes lovely.
Yes. Well, everybody, make sure you pick up some new cotton on gear. Let's make this thing happen, okay?
and do some deals with Morris Financial.
There you go. There you go. Well, and I asked that question. I had Michael Whiting on to do the Eagles preview or the Suns preview, and I asked him. I said, "Do you think that once they finally make finals, they start to get themselves established a little bit? Do you think that Gold Coast becomes a destination club, kind of like Geelong has been? Because you may have kids that want to be out of the footy fishbowl, if you will." And he thought that might be the case.
I mean, that's always a thought. I mean, I almost see Joe Danaher's move to Brisbane being like that. I mean, he lived way closer to Gold Coast than he did Brisbane. He lives in Byron Bay.
Yeah, that's what he said it was.
Like, in the words of Brett Kirk, Joe Danaher, a true unique individual.
Mm-hmm.
And the league is worse for him being retired now.
Yeah.
But I think, I think Buddy lives on the Gold Coast now.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I totally get that vibe. Trying to get out of the footy hotbed and just being able to live your own life. We got Steve's on the clock again.
You gonna pick that Eagle now, Ben?
I might wait.
All right.
What's funny is I'm looking at two guys right now for this next pick. Guys that I've had on my team for I think for both years now.
Yeah, I'm sitting here running through the list going, do I want to try to pick up some of the guys that I had last year? Because there's a couple that I'm eyeing up right now.
I'm so damn old, I can't remember who I had last year other than Roman Morris. Who I picked first.
I love your honesty, Craig. That is fantastic.
Honestly, the reason I remember is because I after the first month or so of the season, I literally make a spreadsheet for myself to try and plan out the bye rounds.
Yeah.
Because my goal is to have full teams for all the bye rounds, and I mean that's going to be a hell of a lot easier now with an extra player in there.
Yeah.
Yep. The only worry about that is you got to double check to see what teams have the buys and when, because it's going to get interesting with some of those bye rounds.
And now the midseason buys are spread out over 5 rounds.
What?
Right out of time.
I just clicked it. All right, bro. Wow.
Ouch.
Were
you looking at another defender instead?
No.
Okay. Because I was.
I thought he was out for the year with an ACL tear.
Or is it
out for the year?
Is it ACL or is it like his patellar tendon? I forget something.
Something in his knee, and last time I heard, he was done for the year.
There's a chance he's back late. I mean, Colton has done some insane things with injury recovery lately. I mean, nobody thought Sam Doherty was going to be in finals.
You're talking late, like round 22. Like that's halfway through the finals for us.
Yeah, nobody thought Sam Doherty was going to be playing again last year. So if there's a conditioning staff that I trust, it might be them. With Lee picking Matt Crouch, I wonder if Crouch and Saliga are going to have to still be those main guys. I remember when Crouch was on the outs for even having a spot in that 22.
Oh, son of a bitch!
You know what's really, he was my next pick. I was like, if he got there, I would have grabbed. legit, Craig. He was my next pick. I was being quiet because he was one I had last year.
That was where I was going.
Somebody I was looking at.
That is exactly where I was going. Yeah, doggone it.
And of course, it's another Cats fan who takes him.
Yeah.
Ethan
well.
took Jeremy Cameron for those who can't see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the thing is I think the thing is recording my screen, so they did see it. I think we'll have to see. We'll have to see when it comes out. I'm not 100%. I think it does. I think it records the screen grabs, so
Yeah.
they're seeing everything.
For
I think
those
the
who
only
are maybe
thing
listening
they
on like
can't the only thing
Spotify
they
or
can't.
something,
I said the only thing they can't see is Steez. I may have to see if I can switch where the see if I can switch where there we go. If I can move this to where there we go. I think I can fix it to where on my recording, at least my screen, it's now on the top.
yeah. I
So
just
so now they can see Steez's pics because I was like, I'm literally sitting here and going, I'm looking at my laptop screen and go, oh, I can't see Steez's pics because all of our lovely faces are over there. So,
jeez.
so I pulled it up, so it's just kind of covering up round one right now. Oh, yay, my turn.
I was thinking about the Crows a lot, and then we saw, Crouch and Laird get picked. I mean, that I have little confidence in that. What is that? A Saligo Crouch Laird triumvirate in the middle? I mean, put Nibbler in there as well, I guess. I mean, that's like a decent on paper, but not great practically group, I think. Simpkin, I think, probably got a boost in the All Stars game as well. Easily the best in that.
Yeah.
It was, I think, 10 clearances when nobody else even had 5. I know a lot of guys were playing that, 60, 70%, but Jai looked polished.
Is that why he didn't play in that preseason game last night? Or is there a reason, if you know?
Um, Maybe it might have been something else though. I know a lot of guys were held out that next week. Donnie took the eagle I was looking at.
I was wondering if somebody was he's just too handy.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Yeah,
looking really
is
good last night too.
listed as a forward and defender.
Yeah.
Nice to see him get a goal late last night.
Forward mid, actually, I think is what he actually is.
Forward mid. I
Yeah.
mean, he's been listed as dual position each of these past couple years, and I had him both years.
Yep.
Looks like as of now he'll probably be a halfback, but with the way Bo Allen started things, I'm not so sure. People were just ragging on Bo Allen for his performance in limited time.
So we get to see if he's messed with his draft board to see who he auto grabs.
Yeah.
At least he doesn't have to go searching for a ruck. At least he got Nank.
Yeah, I was super glad that Meek Monday came early for me. Ethan and I have been on the Lloyd Meek train, I think, for 2, 3 years now, because there was a game, I think, I want to say 2022, where Frio was at Geelong and Sean Darcy was out and just Lloyd Meek went off.
Mhm.
I don't know, Frio and the Giants have Geelong's number at Cardinia
Yes,
Park
they
and
do.
Port as well.
In hindsight, that was probably the game that really got Hawthorne sold on trading for Meek from Frio.
That was a year or two later, though, I think, that they actually pulled the plug.
I don't know. I've just heard Sean Darcy and the word off too much lately.
No, he's not auto drafting again. He's got another dinged up midfielder.
Oh boy. Well,
I'll reach out to him.
well, Frio's set up this year. It looks like it's going to be Luke Jackson, maybe starting forward, and Liam Reedy first up in the ruck for now. Gil, if that guy stays healthy there, Jaden Short, then I think that could be a very handy pickup.
Yeah, could be for sure.
Once
Here
we get
goes.
into the
I'm
lower
gonna pick
rounds,
someone. I'm about to pick someone I really don't care for, but I respect as far as his talent goes.
I figured.
I was wondering. I was like, where is he going with?
Where is he
Oh, I
going with
get
that?
it. I was like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't want to assume it's an Eagles, but I think it could be.
Probably.
Wait, Rick, you're just going to be stashing Butters on your bench for the first month?
Yeah, that one's got to be an auto draft of some sort or a brain fart one. He's not going to be there.
Wow, bro.
Yeah, I'm at work and that one auto drafted. Thanks for reminding
Sorry,
Sorry.
Rick.
Yeah. I love the fact that we've got this
me. Fuck it, I
spread
got
around.
Rosie.
Yeah.
Welcome
I love that we
to
got
my
this
world.
we got this spread around the full country, which I think is amazing for a 10-member league like this.
We have one person in every single time zone.
In the contiguous US, yeah.
Yep. Well, the continental, yeah.
Yeah.
And Gil spends enough time in Hawaii that we can go ahead and include that one anyway.
Well, that is occupied territory, my friends. So
The
illegally.
only thing
occupied
we don't cover is Alaska. So
territory.
They probably got their own league up there. And we got 3 different metropolises here in California now, too, with me here in San Diego, at least until July.
Oh, my son's in San Diego right now.
I used to live
Oh, no
there.
kidding.
Yeah.
He living here?
He's a lieutenant in the Navy. He's doing training out there right now as a in weapons training, and he's be coming back to Norfolk in May as an instructor there.
Okay, so
Yeah.
would he be at Pendleton then?
No, I
Or-
think he's down more towards North Island.
Oh, North
Down
Island, right
towards
now.
Coronado. Yeah.
Right. Pendleton's Marine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, when I was doing my infamous walk, which some of y'all might know about, but I made a bet last year that the Swans were gonna beat the Saints in round 17. I just thought there was no way that was gonna backfire. The Swans coming off another loss. Then the Saints beat the Swans by 2 at Marvel, and so I had to walk in segments from LA to San Diego. I thought that it was going to be pretty straightforward up the coast. Then I realized, wait, fuck, I can't walk through Pendleton. So that added about 30 plus miles there, and instead I had to go super inland and through Riverside County to do that. I mean, it was really interesting, cool way to see parts of SoCal that I probably wouldn't get to otherwise, but definitely not as scenic as it could have been past the first day.
So what was the thing that you saw that you were like, damn, I'm glad I saw that, and the thing that you went, oh crap, I wish I had not seen that?
Honestly, like, none of it really fazed me. Remember, I lived in Berkeley for college, so if it's anything human, then I've kind of seen the gamut.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, I saw some nice suburbia throughout Riverside and Orange County, but definitely would have been more scenic had I been able to stay on the coast. Like the first day of my walk from here in San Diego up into North County and Leucadia, that was about as scenic as it gets there, going along the coast, Highway 101, walked right by the Torrey Pines golf course as they were setting up for their tournament.
Did you hit Lou's records in Encinitas?
No, I did not, but I stopped at, I think technically, a pizza place in Leucadia for the end of my first day.
Was it Pizza Port?
It was Corner Pizza.
Oh, Pizza Port is in Solana Beach. Really, really good. It's a lot of great shows at the Belly Up Tavern that I saw in Solana Beach.
Heard both of those places. I only moved down here to San Diego in right at the end of May, to do this graduate program at USD, but I'm really enjoying my time here.
Nice. Yeah, I used to live there from 97 to 07, met the woman I married there. Yep, I used to be a reporter with the Union Tribune.
Y'all interested in that USC UCLA game tonight?
What's that? Is that for
USC
me or for anybody?
women's basketball, college basketball? Anybody?
I'll be keeping updates on that. USC women's basketball is the only USC team of any kind that I'm okay with doing well. Um,
Wow.
I say that as I'm wearing my Cal hat, and it's because I know a bunch of that staff from when they were at Cal. It's Lindsey Gottlieb, the old Cal coach, who's in charge there.
Mm.
When Cal had their Final Four run back in 2013, that was early on in Lindsey's time when they had players like Laisha.
Jared Goff a scrub. Coming from a USC football fan.
You know,
Jared Goff played under Sonny Dykes.
I'm surprised at his turnaround of his career, though, to be quite honest.
I'm not.
Donnie-
I'm just ashamed that we could never do better than 8 wins with Jared Goff because Sonny Dykes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Hey.
I was so happy to see TCU get slaughtered in that national championship game 65-7.
Yeah.
Hey, Donnie, can I
will
ask you?
give
Go ahead.
respect to Aaron Rodgers, though.
Donnie,
That's an
can I ask
interesting
you-
name now.
Now,
What you need, Greg?
I was going to ask you a question since you are also in the heart of Big Ten country.
Yes.
Now that the Big Ten has gone coast to coast and has, I don't even know how many teams anymore, and maybe anybody else could answer this.
18.
Yeah, are students who graduate from a Big Ten school with a math degree, is that an actual math degree if the Big Ten has 18 teams in it?
Right. The Big 12, the Big 12 one time had 8.
Yeah, I mean, it's
It's I eventually the thing I'll go on my rant real quick. NIL has screwed has screwed college sports, and anybody that tells me otherwise honestly does not know what they're talking about, because all this has done is basically made collegiate athletes pro athletes. And the worst part is you're giving kids that don't know how to handle money that they don't know what to do with. And it's doing is literally destroying collegiate sports to the point where I'm surprised really that we only have 3 or 4 teams that are really competitive, because honestly there's several schools that we knew that anybody who paid attention to college sports knew they were doing something that when they weren't supposed to, and now they can do it above table. It's a little, I don't know. I'm hoping that they figure it out, because right now
Yeah.
the transfer portal needs to be changed because it's getting ridiculous. I think they need to bring back hey, if you're going to transfer, you got to sit out a year.
sit out a year.
Make these
I'm
kids
with
make
ya.
these kids start making the decision of, hey, if I'm going to commit somewhere, I better be willing to sit out a year to transfer, because it's just getting nuts. Like when you're literally hearing college coaches say that their starters are getting calls from other coaches getting offered $500,000 or more to transfer. I mean,
Yeah.
it's bona fide free agency. I mean, like, I get it.
Yeah.
But 90% of the kids that are getting money were going to get money anyways. Why? Because they're going to go pro. Like,
Yeah.
are you getting NILs for your golf team? Are you getting NILs for your water polo team? Are you getting NILs for your golf team? No. You're getting NIL for your basketball and your football players. That's really it. Maybe your women's college basketball, maybe your wrestling, maybe your college baseball. But other than that, the rest of the sports, man, they get crapped on. And when are they going to ever get NIL money? So it's like, it's just, it makes the greedy greedier. And then they wonder why these kids have no loyalty, because it's very easy, because, hey, I could get paid $850,000 to go into the transfer portal and transfer to who knows where.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, I don't mean to go on a rant on that. Like, it's,
No, I don't disagree with you at all.
but it's
on
just
that.
like it's making it to the point where it's like, I agree with what somebody says. Like, you almost got to start recruiting your own players every year just to
Yeah.
hold them.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
I had a Go ahead.
You're preaching to a very receptive choir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Well,
I just had a kid.
especially Lee, who loves East Carolina, who's one of those that probably gets screwed because their best players, North Carolina,
Out.
North Carolina, and the bigger schools in the area could thieve away because they know that East Carolina's NIL is probably not going to have the deep pockets that South Carolina, North Carolina, Clemson, and any of those are going to have.
Yeah, every good player we get, you just uh great season. It was nice knowing you because that's just how they happen. It just everybody's waiting to see which East Carolina player is going to show up and show out, and then they're going to shell out the money, and then they're not going to be at East Carolina anymore because they really don't have the NIL money to keep guys there. It just doesn't happen.
And looking at things right now, I see they have two guys who are Tar Heels now going with Chapel Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild, by the way. The fact that Bill Belichick is going to be coaching the game in fucking Berkeley this year.
I'm telling you right now, if he falls on his face, it's going to be the most glorious thing ever.
I don't know. I like these Patriot guys once they're no longer associated with the Patriots.
I'm just glad he was able to get a discounted rate on his girlfriend's dorm room.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't his girlfriend my age?
His girlfriend's like 22. It's ridiculous.
Even Michael Douglas is going, ooh.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that is hilarious.
Yeah, Jordan Hudson is 24. I'm
Dang it,
24.
Yeah.
Jesus, my
I knew
daughter's
I knew there
24.
was somebody I meant to go looking for and I forgot to. Dang it.
And who was that got picked up?
Luke Jackson.
Yeah, that was one I was
And
thinking
Lee's
about.
dying laughing because he does it every year.
Every year.
Every year
Well,
he finds that double position player that you're like, oh man. Because the best part
The
is
ruck forward in particular.
If English is hurt the way he sounds like it, Jackson's most likely he's gonna have to play ruck for you for the first few rounds because English is hurt.
The question then becomes, what's the split with Liam Reedy?
Well, and then what's the split when Darcy gets healthy?
Exactly. I can't see him having all three in there.
No.
I mean, tough luck, Reedy.
Pretty much.
I mean, great proving ground for him in these first couple. And then I forget what his contract status is, but I honestly wonder if that's the type of guy where, based on how he does early, if other teams try to pry him away. Let's take a look. Liam Reedy is his contract is up after this year. Not a free agent yet, but his contract will be up. And if I recall, he was a mature age guy to begin with. Yeah, he's 24 from Frankston. Okay. So yeah, Victorian teams could easily come calling.
Maybe he's part of something that goes back for Kazi Pickett next year.
Yeah, because they would need that heir to Gaun's throne.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
I like the idea of a Liam Reedy and Jacob Van Royen look. And dear God, I hope Melbourne is luckier on the injury front this year. I got no problem with them whatsoever. Does anybody have a problem with the D's, actually, come to think of it?
I think it's going to be a struggle for them to make the 8. I think they just having too much problems in the midfield that they're not used to having right now.
Well, the biggest thing is what is Petrarca's mindset?
Exactly. And they had too many distractions last year. Let's just admit it.
Yeah. If
We're going to start finding out tonight.
Petrarca's already come out and said that there was never a thought that he was about to leave Melbourne. I think it's more a question around Clayton Oliver than it is Petrarca.
Clayton Oliver, and now Kazi, obviously.
He's out of there, so
yeah. Well,
might as well write him up.
Yeah. One guy that I really like for Melbourne in terms of just having that sort of running ability and a spark guy.
Rivers.
Rivers is just a good mid defender. there. But in terms of like even a small half forward role, I know that very few people talk about him as much as I do, but I just have really grown to appreciate Kate Chandler these past couple years, and I
I
think he
think
can be
Ross
due
is
for a
on
bigger role.
because he just drafted super quick on that last pick. I think Ross is now on
Yeah, well, it doesn't say auto anymore, I don't think.
because his pick went right up like as soon
Let's
as
take a
it is.
look. No, it says auto. Interesting.
Either that or he had.
Ah,
Well, I guess he likes Carl Amon then, because the Carl Amon pick came like that.
all right, Rick. I'll apologize to Ethan on your behalf for selecting Brian Myers.
I had to do it to him.
Uh, the
I
namesake of
will
our
say,
executive.
I will say, Carl Amon. That might actually be a shrewd pickup. I think he's one of the more underrated defenders around when he's healthy.
Yeah, and Lee, I wasn't looking at Sicily actually because I'm not sure of just what his split's going to be. But I don't know. That could end up being fortunate if, based on his forward time, he does change. And there goes Trent Rivers. Damn it.
He could have a big impact this year for them.
Yeah, Rivers was interesting because
Rivers
it's
kind of
that
took the
midfield
same.
time that he got.
Rivers kind of took the Salem role last year that Salem did a couple of years prior, where he was the link out of halfback.
And more than that, when Petrarca and Oliver were both out, he actually had some midfield time and looked decent enough.
All right, I'm doing it.
Do it.
I thought so.
And that was a lot earlier than I expected.
I could not. I could not.
Yeah, I mean, in
I'm
terms
like
of guys who are,
it was just too much of a tease in this situation, especially considering it sounds like it's only 6 weeks. So
thanks for giving me another idea.
what's that?
You'll see.
Why am I suddenly now terrified? Just
Do y'all know how
kidding.
long? Do y'all know how
Just
long
kidding.
Jamara's supposed to be out?
We know he's out for round one. I'm
Give me
not sure
half a
beyond
second.
that.
I can tell you.
Mm.
Jamara, it's a personal reason, so it's to be determined.
Mm.
Because the good thing is, good old Craig here showed me there's a website that actually has all of the
It's in the chat.
Yep, it's in the chat function, so you can click on it.
Yeah. I can't see Jamar seeing 2026 in dogs colors.
I'd be surprised if he does. If I'm being
And there's
honest
one
with you.
team I think in particular that should look for him more than any other, and that is the Swans.
No.
I don't believe long term.
The only way he gets up there is if Chad Warner goes west.
Yep.
That's the only way that happens. And honestly, I think Chad Warner's going to stay. I think a lot of people are making a big deal about him buying property out like less than 6 miles away from both of the Western WA teams' locations. But he also bought a house in Sydney too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People seem to forget that when they're talking about it. So you could have a vacation home in WA and then have your home there in Sydney. I honestly think he stays.
Jamar, though, I just think I'm just not a believer in what the Swans are doing yet. Up front, and maybe that'll change if Tom McCartan proves well enough. But he's also I'm just worried about
McCartan's only up there because Logan McDonald's still out with an injury and Hayden McLean's out with hip injury. That's the only reason he's playing forward.
Yeah, you see, like none of those names convince me unless Joel Amarty gets to play Adelaide every week.
Yeah, but the other thing that you also got to look at it too is last year the only reason people complained was because they didn't win the grand final. They win the grand final, nobody says anything.
I would still highlight it as a weak
another
spot.
one of those. Here's the question that I've seen several people say is, you want to know the one thing that most coaches are desperate for nowadays? It isn't tall forwards. It's quick, small forwards. If you really look at it, who won the best and fairest in the grand final day? Wasn't a big tall forward.
It was a mid forward.
It was a mid forward, but it wasn't a big tall forward.
And he's already been picked. He must have been picked really early.
Who? Kai Lohman? He hasn't been picked.
No, he wasn't. He didn't win best and fairest. That was Will Ashcroft, who was picked 19th overall.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was thinking Kai Loman because he had the
I
break he had the
called
breakup with
Loman's I
what?
called Loman's breakout year and feel so vindicated for that.
It's hurt.
Ooh, Richards is an interesting pick from Ethan. Depends on how long he's out. All right.
I knew he wouldn't I knew he'd get away. Dang it! I was hoping I could sneak him to the next one. Dang it!
Toronto.
Yep.
Me too. He was going. He was definitely.
My only worry with him is he's gonna get buried in that midfield with a team that's below average, and I worry like yeah. So that was my only reason why I hadn't picked him up earlier.
I think he'll get his numbers though, regardless.
Oh,
But
he gets his numbers, but the problem I have with him sometimes is he gets his numbers big in a couple of games, and then I'll have 2 games where he's average
yeah,
or he gets hurt.
I wouldn't. Well, I think at this point in the draft, I think that's worth having.
Rankin played
Somebody
one.
wants to say hi.
Yeah. Aw.
Yeah.
Had Rankin played one more game last year, he would have been an All-Australian. Changed my
What
mind.
do you think? Do you think I'm doing pretty good? Oh, thinking the mic is smells good. Yeah. Oh.
Ooh, Kadeen. I'm not sure what his timeline is.
He should be back. He should be back by round 2 or 3 because that's when he got injured. That's a full calendar year.
I thought there was a bit of a setback, but don't forget he was
I'm pretty sure he got
Brisbane's
hurt
best.
opening round against us because that's when Doherty got hurt as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was Brisbane's best of the 23 grand final, and that still
Yep.
sticks out to me.
And he was pretty good most of that year too.
Ah, good. I took Rankin before my brother could. He's
Well,
going to be even madder
he could have if he didn't
in
have
a couple
drafted if he
picks.
wouldn't have drafted Richards.
hmm But he's going to be even more mad in a couple picks.
He was another one I was seriously looking at. There's Steez. He was another one I was seriously looking at because I honestly think North Melbourne's going to fit him perfectly.
One of the adults in the room there now, too. I am fine with stashing Hayden Young on my bench for a round or two.
I agree. That's a steal. That's a steal.
Which
Had he
one,
not
Hayden
been
Young or Caleb Daniel? I think they both are. We went way too quiet, way too quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought Ethan was going to come in and swoop on Hayden Young because he is the hated Young enjoyer.
That's tough.
I am too, but you can't enjoy someone who's on the bench not playing because they're hurt.
He should be back within the first couple rounds. He's going to come in handy.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know. I always hamstrings.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, wow. I thought one of the Giants guys was going to take Binga. I still don't know how Brent Daniels was snubbed from All Australian last year.
I got to give Ethan credit. He's got a little more confidence in Oflo than I do.
And what makes you say that?
Ollie Florence going to be one of those where it depends on where he plays. If he plays halfback, sometimes his numbers go down. If he plays, the biggest thing is with Golden going down, who plays the wing now? I'm fascinated to see how Coach Cox decides to play that.
Thoughts on Braden Campbell?
Thoughts on Braden Campbell? I'll be honest. I think he could be our breakout small forward this year. He's been playing half forward in the preseason and everything that I'm hearing from my Swan sources that go to training and stuff like that said he is absolutely in fuego. He kicked 3 in that Pracky match against the Giants. So
Look, I've been on the Campbell train for 2 or 3 years now. I just wonder if Golden being out just shifts those plans. Because who else do you see there taking that wing spot?
Lloyd played it really well last year, so Lloyd will be half. The question will be is Do they maybe shift Blakey up to the wing? Do they push McInerney there? Do they push Campbell back onto the wing just because he can play that with his left foot? So it'll be interesting to see how there's a couple of different options they can go there, honestly.
That be textbook and shit. Sorry, talking about USC UCLA.
Oh, you've got the game on right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the score?
We just started. It's 3-0 right now. USC is up 1 minute in.
And that game is that at Pauley or Galen?
It's at Poly because the first one was at Galen when USC trounced them.
This is the last game of the season for both teams, I believe. For sure, USC.
Well, before conference play, because they might probably
No,
see
before the conference tournament, yeah, not conference play.
tournament. Yeah.
Because the tournament will be this next up in a week.
Yeah.
Big Ten
I think it's
tournament will be
Joel.
very interesting as far as women goes.
The
I
Big
think.
Ten women's tournament's nuts.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
if you really look at it, you've got UCLA, USC, Michigan State, you
Ohio
got
State.
Maryland, and
Ohio
I'll tell you this, and it's not just because it's my girls. Iowa pushed 3 of those 4 teams to the end.
Yeah.
It'll be
Lucy also is a
fascinating.
good pickup over there.
She's it took her a little bit to get warm, but now she's absolutely starting to cook right now. I absolutely love her. I honestly think she's playing herself into the WNBA draft, honestly.
She'll probably get there because she looks like she just knows how to control the game, whether her scoring is impactful at the moment or not.
I know there's some Iowa fans because of Caitlin Clark are hoping since the Fever have picked 19 and 20 that maybe they pick Lucy with one of those two just because Lucy is a kind of a defending type of player that she could go there be a defender as well, so it'll be fascinating to see how that goes.
I don't think that's necessarily what the Fever need though, so I don't know about that fit in particular.
Well, honestly, if you look at it with their free agency, where do they actually have a hole? They really don't, because you have Turner and Dantas behind Aaliyah Boston. After that, you've got DeWanna Bonner, Sophie Cunningham, Natasha Howard,
I just think
Hall.
they'll have good immediate impact, but they still like in a couple years or maybe even next year, like after this season, they'll have a little bit of age creeping up with Natasha Howard as well.
Yeah, I think Howard's a 2-year player, and then she's because you got to remember that with the new collective bargaining agreement, things are going to change pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of joy in watching women's college basketball this year, gotta say, and probably the biggest reason for that is that Cal has finally realized some of their potential. Just smart transfers in, and then I knew that Coach Smith was doing the right thing all along. It's just about time it finally happened. They've got their senior day tomorrow against Miami, and dear God, I hope the Cavenders get squashed.
Well, I'm a Notre Dame fan, and we shut all that shit up. But
Yep.
I can't even talk about us in a positive light right now because we've been trash the last like 4 or 5 games, man.
I think they started to believe their own hype a little bit.
Yeah.
Talent wise, they're one of 3 or 4 teams I think that can win the whole freaking thing. But the problem is
but there's the coaching issues. It just looks a little bit of complacency. We play selfish as well with Hannah Hidalgo looking for a shot a little bit too much. And you can just tell a lot of times, like when we get the offensive rebound, it's just like a concerted effort to just go up instead of playing within the team ball. And I feel like that adjustment itself could just make such a difference. And obviously that has something to do with coaching. And I think it still hasn't changed yet.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I'm going to say it. Love my Maryland girls as well. I'd take them to be eliminated first round.
I think my team
tournament. In the NCAA tournament, Maryland's pretty solid. I think they get to the Sweet 16 depending on their matchups.
Man, I hope you're right, but it's just I'm too used to these teams disappointing me sooner rather than later.
Plus, if they get one of the top 16 seeds, they would host the first 2 games in Maryland at home. So,
I also think playing in the Big Ten and just having that as a test in conference play is just going to have you battle tested for the whole tournament.
But here's the thing though: the men's conference used to brag that up but how many how many champions won from the Big Ten? None. Because sometimes being in the toughest conference, I think actually weakens you because you're so beat up from the regular season because you're constantly playing good teams that you actually get to the NCAA tournament, you see a little minnow in your things and you take them lightly and they nip you. So
Who
Yeah,
was the last? Who was
I
the
haven't
last
really,
Big Ten champion actually from the men's
I think
side?
it was Illinois.
I haven't really been too high on
Michigan
Big Ten
State 2000?
basketball.
No, Illinois. No, Illinois was after. I think there was an Illinois championship after. Dang
Yeah,
it,
I'm
you're
not
gonna
too
make me Google it, dude.
Illinois they were runner up in 05. I just looked it up. Illinois was runner up in 05 to North Carolina.
Is that with Williams and D Brown and
Yep.
who's
Yep.
the other?
Yep.
Uh,
I forgot that that team didn't win the title, even though they were
Luther
so
Harris?
darn good.
I remember
Looks like-
that team. They lost to Syracuse, didn't they? In the final
No,
four?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
you're right. You're right, Ben. Is Michigan State in 2000 was the last one that won a Big Ten title.
I don't think
So it's been over.
Syracuse is
So it's
one-
been over 24 years since the Big Ten teams won an NCAA title. So
I'd rather not talk about men's college
Wait,
basketball.
actually, technically, Maryland 2002.
we're still ACC at the time.
And yet
Technically.
the ACC claims
I know.
football players that weren't there, so who the hell cares anymore?
Yeah, true. Good point. Touche. I'll give you that. So
College
Uh,
man team is falling off so bad, man. It's just such a shame.
I think college men's basketball this year could be more entertaining because there's so many there's so much intrigue because I think a lot of people are already kind of trying to crown Auburn, but I've seen teams like Auburn before that they look so good in in an SEC that's really deep, and again they get to the tournament and they choke in one game that they probably shouldn't have. They're probably the best team. They probably should win,
Yeah,
but we'll see. So I'm
that's true. I haven't been too. I mean, the SEC is definitely undoubtedly have gotten
the
better. over
SEC,
the years.
the SEC at one time they said it 3 of the 4 seeds were going to come out of the SEC and a 2 they were going to get 5 teams in the top 8.
There's
Now,
there's a young player from Grovetown High School. He actually plays for Alabama, so I kind of have myself rooting for them a little bit.
which
they
one?
should-
Darion Reed, number 35.
Okay, cool.
Oh
I've had
Why did you take Josh Kelly, man?
just to make
he's
you say
done me
that.
good in the past.
He could have did me good this year.
The line's supposed to be son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
Well,
I didn't
Lee,
think you would actually do it, and he did.
yeah, well, I fucking hate that Lee had to take Matt Roberts.
I did have Matt Roberts over the years.
Yeah, I had him for a bit last year, and I had Josh Kelly for a good bit of these past
Matty
2
Roberts
years as
was
well.
one of those early in the season. Most people didn't know what to do with him, and then he he really cooled off as the season went on. So I'm hoping he finds form, but it'd be interesting to see because the only one thing the downfall for him is he's an undersized he was an undersized backman. So unless he slips up and they move him out to the wing to replace Goulden's injury, I'd be interested to see how that goes because again, I don't really put much stock into the preseason just because I've seen teams go undefeated in the preseason tournament and say preseason champions, and then they finish 15th. So I don't really put much into the preseason at all.
I think it just depends on how you look at how you perceive it. Like you can't look at it just from the scoring line, but there are some things I think from preseason that we can definitely take away as far as
Oh, yeah.
like just
Trends.
changes. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, I get it. But I just as a whole, I take several of it with a grain of salt a little bit.
For sure,
So.
for sure.
Hope the clock doesn't run on you again, Steez.
Yeah, no, I'm not making sure that ain't happening again, man.
I hyped up the guy you just took, Willem Drew.
Yeah, with that Zach Butters out there, there's always room for something out there.
Yeah, and he's just one of my favorite guys to watch. Period. I say that
He's-
about
he's
Drew.
He's really solid. I think he gets a bad rap because he's so good at tagging that I think sometimes he's not as talented as he actually is.
Drew is one of my pure favorites on a pure just watchability basis, and the other guy who I think about for Port, and hopefully he'll be good and have a a clean season health wise as Sam Powell Pepper coming back from his ACL.
Yep.
He's just one of those hard nosed guys that I think is someone that I would like totally introduce to Americans right away. This next guy that I'm picking was a mid forward last year, and I'm fine to have him just as a forward now because that's where I was always playing him. Elijah Hollins, Carlton.
Carlton, proud of you for that, man. Even though you
That's
keep
my second and probably final blue.
nah,
just-
man, nah.
You
I
don't
don't
want
wanna
to get
stack
you don't want to
things-
get more than 3 because then when they have their bye round, it becomes a pain to try to fill your team out.
Exactly.
I
The
would encourage
Giants
y'all
is the Giants are a thing where I tend to have that problem. I've tended to take more Giants than any other team in the past. I think it was either them or Hawthorne. But
I will actually encourage y'all to draft more than 3 blues, just so y'all do mess up during bye weeks.
Wow,
the fact that they don't play opening
that was
round
the
does-
most sincere thing ever.
well, the fact that they don't play opening round does make them more attractive.
Well, the league actually doesn't start till round 1, so
I know, but it means that they don't have early buys.
yeah.
It means we don't have a chance to get injured yet again because we've been getting the brunt of that.
Yeah.
See,
right.
McGovern went down just a little bit during the preseason. Now, I was just hoping that we finished that last game the other day unscathed.
It looks like it's nothing structural though for Mitch.
Right.
Yeah.
It looked
Yeah.
better than it initially appeared. At first, I thought it might have been cramps, but it appeared to just be a little bit deeper than that.
The McGovern brothers known for being hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, their
And-
hamstrings, I think their naturally their hamstrings are a little bit weak. I don't know why. I'm not
Silly
trying to
putty
make fun of them,
hamstring.
seriously. Like those two combined, I swear their hamstrings. It is always every third injury they have is a hamstring.
Damn it, Wessels.
He literally could be the guy that really blows up this year. If the Crows have the season I think they could, he literally could legit be a small forward all Australian. Legit.
I was hoping for that last year, man.
I just
had him.
they
I mean, he was joint
don't-
best in Ferris last year.
Yeah, but the Crows underperformed, and they are definitely a group that they don't get the pub over in Victoria as much as they do in. So
I'm pretty
Yeah.
thrilled for Mick Aussie because he's going to be at the Crows and Saints home opener.
I
He's
had
gonna be
that.
back
dope.
home.
I had the Crows
Um,
with the 8 last year, but they definitely fell short of expectations. Mine, at least.
All right, I'm going to say it now. Simon Goodwin coaches the Crows in 2026. He comes home.
I know he's not going to be there for opening round, but I'm hoping that he'll be back for round 1.
Bye, Matty Nix.
Yep, I see that happening, absolutely. Plantar fasciitis is a bitch, though.
Shout out to
Just
Tyreek
like at the
Evans.
Callum Mills thing. Man, just Mills can't catch a break. I'm thinking about
Already?
what's the guy's name? What's the name of the guy? Jacob Constanti. Tearing his rotator cuff for him, and Rick took the guy I was going to take next.
Shout out to Rig. I have too many Saints, though. I'm done drafting Saints.
I'm surprised to see Jack McRae just as a forward. That, I think, is perhaps
I was a little
mistake.
surprised myself, but no, I'm excited for him. I think he's actually going to have a great year.
But I mean, look, St. Kilda are the team of Jacks, so he fits in very well there.
Team of Jacks. I have one. Who's with me?
Boom. That was going to go on mine right there.
Oh, you got Jack too, right, Sinclair?
I mean,
Yeah, all right. gang.
how many are on the St. Kilda list, though? You got
There's Steele, Sinclair, McRae.
You know what? That might be it now because Jack Hayes, I think, is gone and Jack Billings is a D, but just historically, it just feels like they've got too many more, like so many of them.
Yeah.
My brother just told me he is extremely happy that Humphreys was still available.
You said Humphreys. I immediately thought Chris Humphreys for some reason.
I mean, he's probably available too in another way.
Okay,
He
not
is
even
available.
not even gonna lie. This next pick is more because I love him to death, and I'm so glad, I'm so happy, so sad he's no longer with the Swans.
Chris Humphries is still available to Kim Kardashian, probably.
But no, I mean Lawson Humphries is just a great story though. What was he like penultimate or third last or second last pick of the draft? I forget. Straight out of the Swans District's reserves and
Yep. It was a Swan
fits in
District
beautifully
Reserves
with
kid.
Geelong.
Keep in mind that's the pick that everybody thought the Cats were crazy for holding out for in the Radigalia trade.
Yep.
Radigalia.
Radigalia, the
if you pick Kazi Pickett, be prepared to deal with the 3-week suspension.
Or I thought it's not 3 weeks now, is it?
No, I'm saying, but he will be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of true though.
He's suspended for the first round, I know.
He'll launch himself into somebody yet again.
When doesn't he launch himself into somebody?
That's my point.
He does it. He does it at least once a year. Like the guy annoys the crap out of me. I'm like, dude, stay on your freaking feet. Seriously.
Jeez. Ross is loaded up on defenders.
Who is? Me? Ross. Ross.
Producer Ross.
Oh.
I feel like
Okay.
I'm done on this pick.
There's still some good names out there.
There is.
Names.
The name. Give me the wretched name.
That's probably a good pick. Probably a great pick at this point.
That is a good one at this point, I think.
At this present place with Bont being out, that is a great pick.
I agree.
It is prudent at this juncture.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
My only worry with him though is that Bevo had a short leash for that kid last year so much. I really hope that he breaks out because the kid's too darn talented not to be with the AFL team. But man, he got his leash pulled so many times last year. I felt bad for the kid.
And that's why Bevo's had his job on the line.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do something this year. The Dogs, just something different.
They ain't got shit to lose at this point, in my opinion.
Well, and the worst part about it, like I said, the worst part about it is that with all these injuries to start off the year, man, it's going to be interesting for sure.
That's why I tried to get Matt Kennedy. So whoever picked him is primed for some numbers.
Oh, Kennedy's off the board? Didn't even notice.
He's been gone, man. Matter of fact, I tried to take him whenever I drafted fucking what's his name? Nick Newman. And I was like, bro, really? Speaking of.
Finally found another dual position guy that I could actually pick up before somebody swooped in. Love Miles Burkwood's game.
I honestly almost picked him up when I was thinking about when I got Darcy Parrish. I almost picked him up there because that ability to go defender mid. So
They should be giving my boy DeConing that forward role too, man. But I definitely see him as just solo ruck this year.
Especially with Pitnet out to start the year.
Exactly.
I mean, I think the Blues are better off when Pitnet's not in the lineup.
Well, the year before last, I would have said otherwise, but I agree now. Since DeConing has emerged.
But yeah, I'm very happy to pick up Bergman. Geez, Port reminds me so much between the colors and just the years they've been having under Hinckley of the 2000s through and 2010s San Jose Sharks with always known that they're going to get close, but never getting there. Maybe it's just the teal.
All right,
Probably
Steez.
also.
All right, Steez, where are you going here?
Well, he's got 2 in a row.
I know. That's
Conflicted right now.
In what way?
Between 2 certain positions, man. Conflicted between 2 of my Blues, actually. I don't want to draft too many. All right, let me not mess around. Then I think
I hope he has a decent season this year after last year.
I'm just hoping he doesn't get hurt again because it seems like it's a given.
True, true.
Just thinking back to our college basketball conversation, I've been getting such a kick out of watching Big West men's basketball this year.
Big West.
Yeah, that's like all the smaller UCs and CSUs.
UC Riverside and all those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go up and see UCR's senior night game on Thursday against CSUN. But I've been to 2 games at Irvine this year. Those have been a blast, and also a blast for 2 games at UC San Diego. I mean, they're one of the stories of the year. UC San Diego.
I was wondering when somebody was going to take him.
He was going to be my pick if not.
Yeah, wasn't going to get past me.
Yeah, but I mean, UC San Diego. This is their first year of eligibility for the tournament after the transition from Division II. And they're outright leading the Big West.
Into the first.
Crazy part is, as soon as I'm done with this draft, I'm gonna have my eyes on San Francisco.
Doherty and Darcy back to back. Nice work there, Steez.
Appreciate that, man. Hopefully it pays off.
He's got several. He's got Dale, Daniel, Drew, Doherty, Darcy.
Killer D's.
I know.
23-20 into the first USC.
UCLA brought it back a little bit.
I am so conflicted.
It is starting to get a portion of the draft, at least in my opinion.
Now it's gonna be filling out your roster. So this is gonna be where you start looking around.
Welcome back,
man.
Son of a bitch! I was hoping he would somehow find. I was hoping.
I believe I have had him now all 3 years.
My only worry with him sometimes is that he'll have games where he tackles really well, but he doesn't get a lot of disposals. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what his role is going to be with Errol being out, whether he sees an increase, because one of the things he gets a ton of points on is because he tackles everything in sight. I mean,
that's why I'm backing him in.
Half the Swans fans, one of their favorite things about him is they literally have a tackle counter on him all the time. He broke the record 2 years ago for most tackles in the season.
And he might have an individual Swans record for a game as well.
He does.
The all-time record for the single game record, period,
Ethan keeps picking up some of these guys that I'm just like, he's getting some ones like, if they have the year they could be absolutely elite picks.
You know, McGovern gonna miss at least 4 games.
Waste time with McGovern.
You know, Stephen May's probably gonna miss at least 2 as well, whether from injury or suspension.
Pretty much.
So, ballsy stuff there, Craig.
What the fuck? Didn't exactly invest a lot in it, so other than the time.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Golden being out is the reason why I'm still high enough on Rowbottom to take him. The single game tackles record in AFL history, I believe Rory Laird had 20 in a game a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt the Crows can tackle everything that moves between Laird, Nibbler, Sam Barry, Peatling.
He got pushed out of the midfield at one point last year, didn't he?
Yeah, and they'll still tackle 15 guys a game like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
A little too much of a magnetic attraction to the ball at times for him.
Then you get beat on the outside.
Yeah.
I was thinking about him, man, and I was like,
I think I have to, but I think West Coast is gonna surprise a lot of people this year.
Yeah. I sure fucking hope so.
Somebody put that timestamp down. Put that timestamp down.
Well, no. My hope is that West Coast surprises everybody and Hawthorne tanks because we got their first 3 picks.
Right.
Shout out to Tom Barras.
Congrats on his wedding.
Yeah, I'll take that. Zen.
The
Mr.
pics or the wedding?
Jarman Impey. He was good
Pete
for
fucking Ladams?
Well,
was
there's a
flirting
possibility.
with that
There's
idea.
a possibility Grundy is iffy. So for opening round,
Legitimately my least favorite player in the AFL?
And Ladams was out most of last year, wasn't
well, he never played because Grundy never left the top side. That's why.
he?
Yeah. I
I
just
mean,
remember
Grundy was almost indestructible last year. It was kind of nuts.
Ladams being a headhunter.
Pretty much.
That's how I feel about Finlayson, though. I'm not gonna lie. And it really just comes from one major incident that I seen him do, and it's like, all right, well, you get that tag now.
Pretty much.
Hey, didn't he? I think he wrecked Fife one time. Or it was somebody from Frio that he just hunted, and I was like, damn, bro. Like, when he was-
My favorite thing was his debut was against Port Adelaide, the team he came from, and he did a nice little jumper punch to Ollie Wines.
yeah.
That's one of the things I remember.
Yeah.
Speaking of Allianz, did somebody pick him yet? Because I was.
Ooh, Brad Hill. Good. He's a dual position still, I think.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
He's got 2 years left on his deal, and I hope the Saints are able to do something in that time.
Yeah, I reckon if he has a clean bill of health, he's easily in their top 5 best and fairest. But if it was up to me, I'd probably put Hill, half forward flank. He can do some damage there.
Damn, I've only taken 1 Giant so far. I usually take like 4.
Nah, myself. Archie, I was just sitting there. I would regret if I. Let me start telling y'all my plan.
Tell us, bro.
About to start looking at some rookies in these next few picks, though.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see who's going to pick up, because I'm probably not, but Finn O'Sullivan.
I was looking at that name. But I don't think y'all are interested.
Yeah. I'm not going to pick this guy up, but a guy that I'm really interested in. I mean, I'm interested in both of Port's first 2 picks this year. Joe Barry and one of the Whitlocks. I think Jack Whitlock. Because there's going to be some openings in that forward group, just opportunities there with Charlie Dixon now retired, Todd Marshall having done his Achilles. Poor dude can't catch a break. Jeremy Finlayson just being old.
Georgiadis is always hurt, too.
Yeah, I mean, he was their leading goal kicker last year. Was glad he was able to get through last year cleanly. But, the question is, do you want another big body in there? If
Yeah,
so, maybe does Ivan Soldo get a lifeline as a forward option in second ruck?
They have had the abundance of talls over there.
Yeah, but Soldo, remember, he was going to go to the Saints, and the Saints were like, nah, pass. And so Port kept custody of him, whether they liked it or not, but I think he could come in handy for them this year. And especially if Jordan Sweet falls off a bit, because Sweet was one of their biggest surprises last year in a positive way. But yeah, those young forwards at Port have real opportunities there.
Can I just say that I love that you said Port kept custody, because Port Adelaide does the divorced dad vibes.
Oh, man, Archie.
I was going to say that's kind of an unhinged remark, but Mitch Hinge is a crow. Mitch Hinge, by the way, has probably taken over fully from Sam Frost in terms of just the most chaos ball defender.
Man, I had picked him up last year just because I needed an extra spot. Early on in the year, he made it through the whole season with me.
Frost or Hinge?
Hinge, he did great.
Well, I saw he got picked up early this year.
Yeah, I think. Did I get him this year? I think yeah, I did.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that one. Ah, Ethan took his guy. Ethan might be the biggest Cam Rayner fan outside of the Brisbane Lions fan base.
I've been sour on him the last couple years, but I did have high expectations for bro. But eventually, I still have the optimism for him.
I mean, you had to eat your words last year then.
Yep.
31 goals, career highs across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, surprisingly few Lions have actually been taken, I think, but maybe that's a little foreshadowing.
All right.
I know we were going over some bold predictions. I know we heard Craig talk about North making finals. Ooh, who else do we have here, y'all?
Well, like I said, I already said, I think the Western Bulldogs are bottom 4.
I would not be mad at anybody who says Carlton misses finals just based on how disappointing we can be at times.
That ain't a hot take.
Not really. I'm not.
I think both. I think Carlton, Melbourne, and the Doggies for sure are missing the 8.
Damn, for sure.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's
hard.
hard.
I just don't see it.
Port Adelaide's the other one that I'm. They're with all the drama of the coach of the coaching succession plan, because I swear every single media member is like, succession plans don't work. Succession plans don't work. They do if they're done right.
Y'all must be making room for West Coast in the 8 if all them teams missing them.
Succession plans do work right if they have Paul Ruse involved.
Yeah, if they have Paul Ruse,
I was gonna say there's been a few.
Paul Ruse has done. I think he's done 3, and all
Three?
3 of. Well, Johnny.
He's done Sydney and Melbourne.
Oh yeah, what is 2? Okay.
Well, the other one's just Clarkson to Mitchell. I can't count because Clarkson said, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
Pretty much.
So that didn't really go according to
that really wasn't a succession plan. That was a Clarko get the heck out.
Well, Clarkson decided to leave a year early.
Yeah, but he pretty much was forced into it. The way Hawthorne was treating him, he pretty much was pushed into it.
Great pickup, Steez.
Appreciate
I
that,
almost picked him up earlier, but I wasn't sure if he's going to be able to put up the numbers he did last year.
Yeah. I like my midfield look already, but I've been calling for Massimo to get better minutes at Essendon and feel proven very right now that he's a Hawk.
He was on my list as well. I had a feeling that he was one of those guys that they could just pick up on the cheap and fit him right in. I like him.
He only cost I think a 4th rounder, and they almost
something like that.
And they almost gave him up for free because they didn't realize one of the rules or whatever regarding the contracts they were giving him.
All right. Does anybody?
Well, I was just surprised that Essendon let him walk after 3 seasons? That was it?
He'd been such a constant sub, and the defining moment I remember from him from his time at Essendon was the winner in that unnecessarily awesome game against North in 2023.
Go ahead, Steez.
Yeah, man. Well, I got to do it.
No, I thought you were going to ask a question there, sir.
I was, but
okay.
I'll save that till next round if he's still around.
Thank you.
I have too many. I always find this is the same position I was in last year. I'm drafting too many Saints for whatever reason. I'm not even a Saints fan, obviously, but they're just enticing every time, man. Maybe I think
the Saints are one of those teams where nobody minds them.
Yeah.
Like the Saints and the D's almost feel like that.
Yeah.
Like
should be Carlton, but
everybody else has more enemies out of the Victorian teams than Melbourne.
Ben, who is your Carlton enemy then?
Sorry, what were you saying?
So who is your Carlton enemy?
I mean, isn't Carlton's enemy pretty much everybody?
It is, but I don't understand why as a Carlton fan. It's like we underperform. It's like we do everything y'all want to do as an opposition.
I don't know. It's probably something that's carried over 125 years or whatever from just being one of those upper class teams that actually kept winning things.
So it sounds like it's similar to the hate that Jason Tatum received. Is really just popular vote.
Maybe. I'm not even an NBA guy, but I've been super happy with how the seasons have gone the past couple of years, just with a Bay Area guy getting the title in Aaron Gordon and a Cal guy in Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
My brother and I had the chance to watch Aaron Gordon multiple times while he was in high school because he's a San Jose kid. And we knew, and I mean, everybody knew he'd be special from, I mean, middle school even.
I didn't expect to see him become more than a defender though. Like he's been a great defender. Obviously, he's freakishly athletic, but he's really become more of a complete player than I really expected as far as his whole career.
He's always been that though.
Not really with Orlando, in my opinion.
Yeah. Maybe the system didn't fit him there as much, but I remember just still there was this game that he might have been a junior in high school, and he was coming back from mono, or as Australians would call it, glandular fever.
Mm-hmm.
And he took a De La Salle team that had, I think, 2 or 3 Division I starters into double overtime, pretty much single-handedly before fouling out.
I have because the Peach Jam. I'm sure if you're familiar with basketball, the Peach Jam is out here in Augusta.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I have a friend who seen him play over here during the Peach Jam, and he had nothing but positive things to say about him.
If we're talking other sports here, I'm surprised that no one is talking about something kicking off in 26 days, Major League Baseball, because I cannot wait for the MLB season this year.
I'm not a
Speak for
baseball
yourself,
guy,
Mets fan.
It's
a little bit too slow.
That's
like,
right.
Just even since finding Phillies, I can't even get
Juan
into
Soto in the
NFL just
lineup. I
because
cannot wait.
I was a huge baseball fan. I've not watched a game in 6 years. I think Rob Manfred should be drawn and quartered. He's destroying the game. He's allowing it to be destroyed, in my opinion.
John Fisher with him.
Here you go, Craig. Tell him how you really feel.
Well,
He's a fucking asshole.
It's funny because I'm that way about the NFL. I have not watched the NFL in many years. Forget it.
I don't know. I'm trying to convince myself that I'm an Orioles fan now, just because that was always the second team in mine, and with Dad being from Maryland, just can't go back to the A's, obviously. I'll be going to a good amount of games down here, hopefully, though. Being in San Diego, I've got a gorgeous ballpark nearby.
Were you an Oakland Raiders fan by chance?
No, because of my dad, I'm a Ravens fan.
Oh man, I'm a big Oakland Raiders fan, but we've been asked.
Who do you think their quarterback's going to be?
It can't get worse than Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell, I'll tell you that.
You almost should have kept Chase Garbers around. Go Bears.
We've had so many quarterbacks over the years. Derek Carr it was the only stability we've had since I've been a fan, so I don't know. I see those rumors that we might trade up in the draft, but I'm really not sure, to be quite honest.
Somebody say Sam Darnold?
Look, I'm a USC fan, so I wouldn't mind that at all.
I don't know. It almost makes sense to me, even though Carroll never coached him. Ooh,
he went
ballsy pick by Ross to take an uncapped AFL player. And I think a lot of people only recognize Cone Livingstone because he was the starting ruck for the Indigenous All-Stars, because that's about the only position they had no depth at.
I was going to say I don't think there's many Indigenous rucks since Patty Ryder retired, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, the only ones I could think of are Ryder, and then
who
before
played
my
in the
time.
Indigenous All-Stars match in the ruck?
Huh?
Who was the Indigenous All-Stars ruck?
Livingston, the guy that Ross took. That's what we're saying.
Okay.
Like, no AFL games, but an Indigenous All-Stars game.
Struggling.
Yeah, man, I'm struggling to figure out who my last defender is going to be now that I realize it. Wilmot was a guy that I had circled, but I had more pressing forward needs, I thought, and now I'm regretting it.
So just a heads up, once you pick everybody, then if you're picking people for the bench, you just pick them as interchange.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, got you. Okay.
Yeah, I've already done that with a couple mids, or one mid at least.
And who do we think we are? Ever since seeing John Legend.
I didn't think I'd get so interested in like some of the preseason stuff, just with my schedule being what it is. But damn, it's just good to actually see full footy games
Yeah.
of varying intensity on my screen again.
The West Coast North game was surprisingly intense. I was pretty tuned into that game. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, it actually felt like it mattered that there were guys out there with things to prove. I mean, the new additions for West Coast among them.
I think the intensity level of that game was really more intense than some of their both teams' home and away season games last season.
Sadly so.
Well, here's something for you guys, which I just thought about, which is this: what you just described about the joy of seeing footy again. I'm feeling more for baseball right now, and maybe because the way that my respective teams ended, because at Frio we lost our last 4 games of the season and didn't make the finals. With the Mets, fantastic postseason.
Damn it, Craig.
That might have something to do with it.
Is Phil
Yeah,
listed as a ruck as well?
Carlton ended their season pretty sour for me, but I'm still kind of excited for footy. Like we
I
had
was
terrible
wondering if somebody pick him up.
Craig, was Thilthorpe listed as a ruck as well, or no?
No, he's just a forward.
No, just as a forward.
He'll be handy though, being their likely second ruck.
There's actually very few ruck forwards listed this year for some reason.
Yep.
Like I'm thinking Luke Jackson and motherfucking ham sandwich.
I think Mike Scott could have got the forward title this year, the way he's been playing these past few.
Hmm.
Must have no.
You know what? I do end up taking an eagle.
There you go.
Oh, it's me. Oh, I didn't even know. I can starting to creep, boy.
Finally have my fifth a fifth defender, and I think I'm the president of the Western Hemisphere chapter of the Brady Hoff fan club.
I think that qualifies you also as the vice president, the secretary, and treasurer.
Wow.
Mm, this is a tough position.
I am the Senate.
Damn, I'm in a position, man.
Gonna be interesting as we go on. What everybody does for their interchanges.
Yeah, I've got one of my mids for the interchange. And there's still some decent mids out there, damn.
Yep.
Like even though I don't have my forwards and mids and defenders finished yet, I think I'm probably gonna take another mid here. The question is which of them? Now I know which one. Unless Steve is telepathic.
Might be. Shoot.
He is.
No, Satterfield was not the one.
Ed Langdon.
No?
Just
He's going to stay on the oval the full game, though.
That was funny.
I do like Langdon a lot just because he can play the full game, but that's not the guy I was looking at. Like, if there are... You see so few 100% guys, and yet I think it was in 2021, their flag year, where he had, 16, 17 games maybe, where he played the full time? Like, I don't watch how that guy trains.
Jesus, man, I'm in a tough position.
I want to watch how he trains. I want to watch how Pendlebury trains.
anybody concerned about Collingwood getting all at the same time this year?
That's I know somebody put it out there that said what was it? They said Collingwood is going for it, and Collingwood and I agree with what somebody says. Collingwood may run into the trap of they may win a title this year, but then they may have the problem of West Coast is they have absolutely no youth behind it.
Oh, this definitely is a last dance.
I mean, they're going for it. Let's just straight up say it. They're going for it.
And Pendles takes it personally.
Pretty much.
Redemption story for this guy last year that I'm taking. Glad to have him as a midfield option. Jared Barry.
There you go.
I mean, he was inconsolable last 2023 after the grand final for giving away that 50. I think it was that Pendlebury that he gave it up? No, side bottom. With that long range goal, and Ethan's willing to swallow a 5-game suspension or whatever. Because there goes Kazi.
I'll give it to about round 10 before he gets suspended.
Well, it helps that he's not playing round 1.
More cute. Kazi, yeah, for sure.
One time the Demons are mad they don't play in round 0. Actually, I think Ross may be on and off because I keep seeing his thing light up and then turn off.
It lines up so perfectly, by the way, to have Collingwood's schedule be what it is. Because Dan Houston suspended for the opener and then gets to debut under the lights Saturday night against Port. But I'm pissed off at one piece of Port's scheduling. They are still not playing North in Victoria.
You know what? I'm gonna do something I don't think I'd ever admit I was going to do, but you know what? What the hell?
What, agree with me?
No. Look at this.
Wow.
Wow, we got our first first year off the board.
The AFL's own Bond villain.
Damn Christ.
Drafting Rory Lobb as a defender. That's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Well, it's because of Jones being hurt.
Exactly.
They have no intercept defender back there except him. So with Jones and him not having to fight over intercept marks, I'm going off the risk that maybe he'll find his groove back there.
We got our first year off the board, by the way, because Sam Davidson was taken.
Interesting.
Pick
Yeah, I don't know if y'all
51.
watched that preseason game, but he had great numbers. And I think he
Yeah, I
had
think-
like 26 disposals or something like that.
And 3-4 goals, I think, maybe?
Yep. And he
Yeah,
was playing in the mid. They have him listed as forward, but he was playing mid in that preseason game.
I mean, there's so much opportunity for him now with Cody Waitman out in particular. I mean, this is a guy who is, I feel like Chris Collinsworth. Here's a guy who's pausing his medical studies to be a mature ager for the Western Bulldogs and has a chance to start round 1.
So basically, you're glazing Mahomes.
If Sam Davidson is Mahomes, so be it.
No. Shout out to Chris Collinsworth.
Too bad this isn't this chair doesn't have wheels. I can't slide into frame. Oh, speaking of Collinsworth, though, made me think, we do have a couple Sunday night games in terms of Australian time this year. Because we've got the King's Birthday Eve game is a Sunday night again, Carlton and Essendon.
There's the Easter weekend.
Yeah,
game.
Easter as well. I forget who that is.
Yeah.
Easter weekend, Sunday, that is Bulldogs and Saints, so the Jack McRae Derby. And also, you've got the, and I'm so glad this is a schedule, that this was scheduled again, Q Clash on the Queensland Labor Day weekend.
Oh, that's perfect design. Good stuff.
Damn.
Yeah, that's,
Charles good pick there, Rick. As long as he stays healthy.
I was literally wondering to myself how no one else had gotten Chera yet.
I think it's just the injury scare.
Probably.
I mean, it's the case with both Adams at Carlton. I don't think we've seen. I don't think Sod was taken.
I got
Yeah,
Sod.
Yeah,
Dewan took him.
Sod's round 16.
Yeah, but I mean that's Sod finally has competition in something though. Max Holmes is gonna compete with Sod for most bounces. Holmes had 11 in a game last year. Gil took Blake Acres. And Rick. Damn it. I was on the Burgoyne hype train.
Oh, I'm very high on Jace Burgoyne. I think he's, I mean, that family name precedes him at Port Adelaide, right? But no, I think
still
he can definitely have a breakout season this year if he plays his cards right.
I was on it.
I mean, he got the perfect 10 for their semifinal win over Hawthorn. Easily the best in that game.
That's right.
I was thinking about him, but wanted to make sure I took Bergman because of his dual position status there. Burgoyne could definitely be a winger for much of the year, but I hope he's kept in a more versatile spot.
Miles Bergman?
Yes, Miles Bergman, because his brother Miller's at North, but has had rotten injury luck.
Yeah. Didn't he get hurt his first game?
I believe so, yeah. It's like Miller Bergman could join Jacob Ryan in that club. I'm not sure if that's a name anybody else is thinking of.
Nah,
Jacob Ryan played his first game for Collingwood in that weird Marvel home game against the Lions in 2023. Did his hamstring super early and hasn't been seen since, but I think there could be an opening for him this year. I'm not sure.
What does he play?
Like a halfback flank, and I get that's a little more crowded now with Perryman in there.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe if Maynard goes down or something like that, I think he's good for opening round Maynard.
46-32 USC at the half.
It feels weird saying fight on, but fight on.
Fight on. Not
for USC women's basketball only. Man, one of my favorite sports memories is being at the LA Memorial Coliseum in 2018. Cal 15, USC 14.
You know how many times USC football has disappointed me? Like when Mike Bercovici, the backup for Arizona State, dropped like 500 yards on us in a Hail Mary game winner to Jalen Strong.
I was going to say, that was Hail Mary.
Yeah, after talking shit the whole week. And I was like, all right, man. I'm sick of these boys.
You're USC, though. You've had, at least you have the expectation to usually get there of 9 or something wins at the very minimum.
We haven't made a college football playoff since that format started. And
I'm a fan of a school that hasn't had 10 wins since 2006.
Sounds like you need to leave, man. USC's taking fans, man. We're always open.
Women's basketball only.
You can move up just a step, man.
Oh boy.
We don't invest in our O-line, but we have quarterbacks.
Hey, Cal's got a 5-star quarterback though.
Yeah.
The Hawaiian.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think we have a Hawaiian quarterback too.
Is Mayava?
Yeah, he's starting now. They benched Miller Moss last year.
Yeah, Mayava, the UNLV transfer.
Yep.
Miller Moss, I remember he's a SoCal. Didn't he transfer?
I actually don't know.
I think Miller Moss transferred.
Chances are all of our quarterbacks transfer. Like Jackson.
Seeing these Suns get drafted, I just think, holy cow, they look awful. Not the team, maybe the jumpers. Like the things that are Suns, I put in red. Everything's in red. Yeah, I know. Juwan's taken some of the first years, I see. He also took Levi Ashcroft. Good pickup.
Agreed.
Okay, I finally have 6 defenders.
I'm struggling.
Yeah. Coming up here near the end, I know we're just started the 2025 season, but drafting Bodie Udland reminded me that his brother is maybe the highest rated defender in the 2025 draft class. Zeke Euland, regarded even more highly than Bodie is. I'm glad though that the academy picks and stuff are getting like that. It's the point system was changed, that it's tougher to keep all those guys.
Yeah, Carlton still ended up with twins.
Well, that's the. It was.
Yeah, I mean they slid down the board, but Lucas could be starting round 1 on the wing.
Hey, hold that down, man. He ain't get drafted yet. Hold up.
Well, in our draft, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said hold it down.
You can have him.
All right. Just wait 2 rounds.
I might take another blue in the meantime.
Oh, this is tough, man. I'm in a spot, man.
Geez, I realize I have like no talls, but I don't mind that.
It's not like you're actually putting this team on the field.
I know it's like interesting realizing that. Well, Steve's took a guy with an injury history that I'm worried about. I'm also going to be taking one of those.
Zach Williams?
You put the pieces together.
You know he's playing mostly forward now, though.
Yeah,
he's a forward defender in the thing, so it'd be interesting.
That's exactly why I was looking at him.
He ain't playing no defense on the field, I'll tell you that. Because he found his groove at forward actually last season. It was pretty nice to see.
Towards the
He
end
only
of the
missed
year,
a couple
yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was super great to see Zach like that. I'm literally opening up his tables right now. Yeah. He only kicked 15-7, but it was only like the second half of the season that he was forward in the first place.
Right.
I remember he had 3 goals in that Port Adelaide game that I remember really vividly.
Yep.
And I know I remember that game. It's because that was the morning that I moved and drove down from the Bay to San Diego. It's like as I was finishing up my packing and eating breakfast and stuff, that was the game I had on in the background.
Crazy how you can remember certain games from just what you was doing at the time.
Yeah.
Before we play like a footy match on Saturday mornings, like before we wake up and I watch the game, it's like, damn.
I definitely remember Buddy scoring his 1,000 goal off there because that's when we were staying in Alabama that night on the way to New Orleans.
Yeah.
New Orleans.
Where in Alabama were you?
Oh,
it wasn't Tuscaloosa, was it?
I don't know. We was just stopping there for a night, so it was like I think it was like an hour outside of Birmingham. Yeah, we was just staying the night and just back on the road to Louisiana.
It's funny talking to Ethan with all of the baseball trips that he takes that he can like remember where he was like, oh yeah, I saw that Cats game from Michigan. Well, we'll be seeing a good part of around this year from Columbus, Ohio, because one of our cousins is getting married. But other than that, and Ethan's going to be going to Australia sometime in July.
Oh, nice.
I can't because that's
season, but good to be out there.
Yeah. I can't do that because I've got my my master's class is going all the way through the end of July.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have a break until December.
Yeah, I postponed my trip this year again because my wife got diagnosed with cancer back in October.
I
So
remember you telling me that. Yeah. How
yeah,
is she now?
she's got a couple more. I think she's got 3 more rounds of chemo left. She's done with all of her radiation, but she's got 3 more chemo treatments left. So she's doing pretty well.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
Prayers
that's
to her.
terrible news, Craig.
Yeah, it's been an interesting year. I had my son's a lieutenant in the Navy. He bought a house in Norfolk back in May, and his ship deployed in beginning of October. And end of October, he's off the coast of Norway, and we get a call from his neighbor that somebody drove through the front of his house. Um, so yeah, he got back beginning of December because his tour on that ship was done. And while my daughter was home at Thanksgiving, she's a teacher down in North Carolina, and while she was here, her next door neighbor's boyfriend, who was training to be a police officer, was cleaning his 9mm and didn't clear the round out of the chamber and blew a hole through her entire apartment. So it's been, and 3 weeks ago, my dog died. So it's been a hell of a winter. So I'm looking forward to spring.
Man, Rick, you took Brian Myers and then you took his best friend.
Right. So I've been on the Whirlpool bandwagon for a while now. I think took him a while to find his groove as a midfielder, but yeah, I mean, like with Hawthorne on the rise again, I reckon he'll be in the thick of it.
There's one more Hawthorne guy that hasn't been actually. Will Day's been gone for a while now. Yeah, has to.
Yep. He was picked up earlier.
Yeah. Okay. The last guy in that group though is still available. I see a lot of people are taking second rucks because we've got that extra spot.
Yeah.
I just don't like any of the ruck options that are left.
Nope. Might as well go elsewhere then. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, it'll just be just like random pickups when it's that time of the season for Hawthorne to be off. Membry, that's one of the best pickups in terms of the off-season period. I don't think people realize just how accurate of a kick Tim Membry still is.
Only thing with him, he can only jump vertically. He can't jump horizontally.
Yeah, but that's a group that's by committee and I think does things pretty well.
What Collingwood play, it actually may benefit him because he's going to get tons of space. He may not even have to jump.
I mean, you got 3 M's in there who could all wreak havoc just together and apart between him, McStay, and Mychuk. But Membry's up there in terms of some of the most accurate volume kicks as well. I think it was 30 goals, 9 for him last year.
I think Callahan's a good pick at this stage.
Yeah, damn.
I was kind of surprised. It was between him and Xavier Dersma were the two I was fighting over.
I like Xavier, but I'm worried too much about his hamstrings.
That's the reason why I went Finn Callahan.
I mean, he's had hammies too, but I gotta like the Dersmas though, especially when Dean interacts with us online.
Anybody that's not Essendon is always a good pick, man.
You're even okay with picking Collingwood?
Oh yeah, I'm not again. I don't like Collingwood. I don't think I picked a pie yet either.
Round 21 of 23.
20.
I wish we could go back through the draft history and look back at like who Mr. Irrelevant was the past couple years.
I got dropped round 4.
Most likely.
No, I think 2 years ago when Ethan and I entered the league, Brian Myers was Mr. Irrelevant.
Look at him now. He's great.
He's always been.
Yeah. Even more so, I think, in recent times, though. You picked the old man? All right.
If anything,
I'm waiting.
Just got a hunch.
Man.
Just got a hunch.
Oh, he's hurt. He's hurt round 4.
Yeah, he may be, but he's not hurt right now.
The confidence that he speaks of is great. That he's not now.
Not right now. I'll take him when he. Yeah, I will say, I think when he is healthy, he's a Coleman contender. But matter of fact, I think I'm just scarred from picking him as my Coleman.
I don't think he's going to be Coleman this year because for them, if you're going to draft anybody from Richmond, draft their defenders because I think they're going to get a lot of work this year because most of their midfield after Hopper and Taranto is all rookies and youngsters. So
yeah, I still think I need to issue a public apology to Port Adelaide for tipping Todd Marshall to win the Coleman in 2023 because he's been nothing but falling apart since then.
I just realized Jacob Hopper's still available. I ain't taking him, but
he's too injury prone.
Yeah.
In the last three seasons, I don't think he's ever got through 23 games.
I think that's why Cogs is still available too.
He's better than Prestia.
That's a disappointment because I like both those guys a lot. I like Meatball.
Prestia gets hurt just crossing the street.
Yeah, Prestia has some soft tissue issues so easily, man.
Damn, it's like, man, thinking about like the first guy I think of with this is like an old Sharks player, or no, it was barely a Shark named Martin Havlet, who barely managed to play with him because he always got hurt in some way, shape, or form.
Shame.
It's like always, like it's not Alex Johnson level, but
yeah.
Sorry for the deep cut there, Coach.
Nah, you're good.
Was Alex Johnson a Premiership player at least?
Yeah. He played in the 2012 Grand Final.
Okay.
Because there for a while, it was the last game that he missed 2 consecutive seasons with ACL injuries, and it was literally the last game that he had played was the 2012 Grand Final.
That's what it was. Okay.
Ready for that shit.
Between Zach Williams and Will Hayward, one of them's got to be healthy all the time, right? Hopefully.
Will actually fought through an ankle injury in that Brisbane Lions game. That was probably one of the craziest performances I've ever seen because he could barely walk there for a bit, but then had like 2 chase down tackles with a bum ankle
and a goal.
Yeah.
Like to me, that game, had the Swans won that game, that would have been the Will Hayward game.
Pretty much.
Final 2 rounds almost, and a pick.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I knew I wasn't going to be able to make it to USD tonight. Senior night basketball for them, but they've disappointed me too often this year.
I'm actually as soon as we're done this, I'm pulling up my iPad and watching the game at San Francisco tonight.
Oh, that's
San Francisco v Gonzaga.
Oh, right at Chase Center. Gonzaga's going to win that.
I hope so.
Episodes.
I hope not.
I don't either. I don't like Gonzaga. I'll root for him every time against them every time.
USF, and USF is Ethan's school, and one of his best friends was their point guard and is now on their coaching staff.
Yeah. No, I've been watching Coach Few and the Zags for over 10 years now. So
just because that game is at Chase Center, I have more confidence that Gonzaga is going to win because USF is undefeated on the Hilltop, but they moved the game for a bigger crowd.
Gonzaga has a cakewalk conference, so they have it every time.
Again, this is my favorite part. You say cakewalk conference, you obviously don't pay attention to it very well, do you?
I mean,
because St. Mary's is the one cleaning house this year.
St. Mary's has won the conference the last 2 seasons.
They're cake too.
They are.
I saw
my favorite part about that. Again, you say cakewalk conference. Okay, again, Big Ten hasn't won a championship in 20 years, yet they're considered the best. Who gives a crap about the conference?
When has WCC won a championship?
San Francisco has won it a couple of years, and how many other teams have made the national championship game twice in the span of 4 years? What
year was that? When San Francisco?
Back in the 1950s.
Exactly.
Bill Russell, Casey Jones.
Yeah,
era.
but here's the other thing too. Okay, what's your school in college basketball?
Villanova.
Okay, how many kids go there?
Not many, but we still have 2 championships in the last
How many
10
kids
years,
go there?
20 years. Not many.
No. This is seriously, how many people attend
I don't know.
Villanova?
I can't tell you how many
Please
people
look it
attend
up.
the college.
Please look it up.
Well, I know they have a Navy ROTC unit, so it's got to be a decent sized school.
Exactly.
It's
now
several thousand. Let's see. I think it's about 7,000 undergrad.
Okay. Now look up how many Gonzaga has.
The thing is, y'all have went. Well, Gonzaga has went.
Gonzaga's similar. Gonzaga has about 7,000 undergrad, postgrad, all that.
Yep.
You got to get the job done at the end of the day, though.
Okay.
Again, how many teams win a championship every year? One. How many teams are in the NCAA? I find it funny that so many people have this expectation that Gonzaga is supposed to win championships, yet they're in a smaller conference.
If you're good enough to get to the championship, you should.
How many teams win a championship every year?
If you're good enough,
how many win a championship every year? One. Your expectations of Gonzaga are skewed because they win games that most teams don't. That's the problem. Answer me this. How many times has Villanova lost to a team they probably shouldn't have in a conference game? How many times? More than you can think. How many times does Gonzaga lose conference games when they're supposed to win them? They very rarely do.
Because yes.
It's not a cakewalk.
The expectation this year was that St. Mary's and Gonzaga would be maybe on par with each other, if not St. Mary's being a bit better, and that has held. I saw St. Mary's. I saw St. Mary's, by the way, drop. I saw St. Mary's do the least St. Mary's thing possible and get into the triple digits in January.
The only team we've talked about in that same conference is St. Mary's and Gonzaga. There's only 2 teams in that conference.
Yeah, because it's a smaller
and USF ought to be the third.
They should.
But
they keep losing coaches because their coaches go to bigger conference teams.
Actually, that's only the case for Golden. Rex Walters was fired. And I love what Coach Golden is doing though at Florida. And they've got one of their most important players is an Australian, a guy who signed a Category B deal with Collingwood. But he's probably going to be an NBA guy. Alex Condon.
If you have NBA talent on your team,
they do have NBA talent on their team.
They have more expectations than St. Mary's.
I can't believe what Coach Bennett's doing though at St. Mary's, considering the guys that they lost.
Oh yeah, Aiden Mahaney went to Villanova, transferred to Villanova.
UConn.
Oh yeah, UConn. I knew it was something out of the East Coast.
And he's been incredibly disappointing this year. He's an East Bay kid. He grew up playing high school, playing ball with Coach Bennett's kids.
10 o'clock.
What they're doing, despite the couple players they lost from last year, is really impressive. But yeah, I saw them put 103 down at USD. That game was so out of hand that I was just like, fuck it. I'm going to start an Aussie chant when the guys get back in. And Harry Wessels immediately responded with a slam.
Yeah, no, it's
no relation, Craig.
St. Mary's is one.
Guys, I just put in the chat. I said you're talking about college basketball. You might as well be speaking Greek. I have no clue what you're talking about.
No, St. Mary's is one of those programs that they're highly underrated because most people don't know how good they are.
Outside of Australia, and even there. Okay, round 23.
I'm much more interested in the women's product than the men's product these days, though.
I mean, I don't watch. I watch footy. I watch cricket, and I'll watch the Browns just out of morbid curiosity anymore. But that's about it.
Hey guys.
Yes.
I just got a text that I am going to have to deal with. That's why I wanted to get in my last picks. But I'm going to have to bug out. But thank you guys. Great being with you.
Yeah.
Good luck to our respective teams this year.
Good luck, man.
See you, Gil. Take care.
All right.
Sure. Later, Gil.
Take it easy. Later. All right.
Mahalo.
Thanks, and also thanks for helping me sort out the difficulty at the beginning. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you.
Thankfully, it was low risk, high reward there, getting Jerry, hopefully.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
barring a catastrophic injury.
He's already had that, man.
Yeah, we don't need another one. Well, Gil doesn't.
Yeah, Gil doesn't. North doesn't. Oh, he actually took the bait and went Bo Allen.
Yeah. I do enjoy the rookies, man. Hopefully they give me some value this year for some trades or something.
Gonna have to take off here as well, boys. Always a pleasure. Let's have a great season.
All
Yeah,
right,
all
take
right,
it
man.
easy.
Yipper.
Man. Not Tom Powell. What are we doing? Why?
Tom Powell, I think
That's my boy.
he had one of the assists of the year last year.
That's my boy right there.
Okay, I have
all
one
right,
extra.
folks. Who's Mr. Irrelevant?
I guess I have the honors, huh?
Well, Steez will have the call. I'm going to take a
Yep.
little bit of time to figure out this last pick here because I've got one extra forward technically with Williams. I've got an extra I've got an extra 2 defenders, an extra midfielder, 2 extra.
Yeah, that's what I did with the. You got a second ruck?
No, but I don't want to take Pitnet, and that's the only one that I'd have eyes on.
Well,
Well, he's out.
I will tell you, the Cats have been playing De Koning in the ruck. So
Yeah, but Sam's been taken a while ago, wasn't he?
was he? I don't think.
Yeah, Lee's got
I
him.
took his brother. I didn't know if he was still there or not.
Yeah, Lee's got Sam.
Okay. I
Um,
didn't see him go. Well, you still got Williams out there from Gold Coast or from West Coast.
I don't know what the deal is going to be between Bailey J and Matt Flynn, so instead, I'm not going there. I hate wasting time like this, but I don't know. All of a sudden, it
You got
feels like
time.
this matters. Thankfully, there's a timer. I actually haven't taken a pie.
That's
That's
good.
going to change.
Nah, that's good, man. Pies don't need any more support than they already have, man.
Going to be cool seeing Chris hopefully break the Iron Man streak this year. I believe he's on track for that. But of course, it'll all be moot point in like 10 years, and I don't know, 6, 7 years, whenever Darcy Wilmot breaks that streak.
See,
Wilmot came in for that elimination final, I think in 2022, and has played every single game since. I'm looking forward to introducing more of my friends to this game this year. My friends down here in San Diego. I introduced my housemate, one of them, to footy last year, as Lucas Camporeale is is Mr. Irrelevant 2025. See, I threw his name out and he was still left for you, Steve.
You manifested it.
But my housemate and I, we watched, like, she just happened to want to watch with me, and the first game she watched was the damn Sydney Derby final. So I feel like I set her expectations way too high.
just the littlest bit. Oh my gosh.
And then the Brisbane and Geelong prelim, she watched some of that too. When we were actually an episode that Ethan and I recently did was that we had one of Ethan's very best friends, Derek, go back and watch the Port versus Melbourne game from round 3 last year. And Ethan picked that game because it's a reasonably high tier but not super dramatic ending game. Like, it's so tough to figure out what's that first game you're going to show people because you can't set the expectations too high, but you got to reel them in.
Right.
What's the age difference between you two?
Ethan's 4 years older.
Okay.
If you guys want to know, the fixture just dropped too.
Ah, no kidding.
Yep, round one. Here are the matchups. Let's see. Myself versus Rick. Lee versus Steez. Ben, you face Ross. Ethan faces the Don, and Craig faces Gil in round 1.
Go ahead and look at Lee's team, man. Gotta do some scouting.
Yeah, got to figure out how to defend them.
Yep.
You see, if I've got
early on, so I'm not expecting to take the
hey
lead
yo,
right
Donnie, are you able to
Yes.
change the league name because your show is not Donnie's Dispose?
Dispose.
Sure, good
Dispose.
point. Yeah, I think I can fix it.
I think I'm still keeping my bunga jumping name.
It might be a tough round for me, man. Already round one. Hey Lee, make sure you put some injured players in there the first round, man.
Well, Lee's already gone, I think.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I think he just took off.
Yeah, I told Donnie before you guys came on. I had the funniest answer to a question I've ever had on my podcast night before last when I was doing the Blues preview with Terry Degani, and I was asking him,
That's my boy.
what's the thing over the last decade that you wish that the Blues had a do-over, that they did it wrong, and I was expecting to hear, Eddie Betts leaving to go to Adelaide, and he just sat there for a second. He said, I wish I didn't see my club president's dick.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
Well,
Hey Ben, can you unshare the screen?
Ah, shit. Yeah. Now that
You're
the
good.
draft's done, I was adjusting my team a little bit because I realized Hayden Young was in my 18.
You're good. So no,
Oh man.
I probably should have stopped the recording for that joke.
That's a
Nah, no, that's gonna be a perfect
it
thing
went
to
out in
end on.
mine.
Look,
It went out in mine, so
Nah, it's funny. It's funny. No, the other thing I thought since I have all of you guys here, I'm still filling out my round reviews. So I will message. I think I've messaged everybody about this. Still have rounds 14 through 21 and 23 and 24 still available in the home and away. If anybody wants any specific rounds, just reach out. Slowly filling up. Yeah, I've got the first 13 rounds are already covered. So,
damn.
well, I've got
Yeah,
good for you.
I've got several that I chat back and forth with, and a few down in Australia that I try to get a hold of them as early as possible so I can get them in their diary.
deal.
So
14 through 23. It would be so cool if I
21.
don't know when. Oh, okay. I mean, Ethan doesn't know yet when he's going to Australia, but it would be really cool if you could have him for the round where he's there.
I'll let him know once he figures it out. Let me know as soon as possible. So, and I will do I'll do a grand final show. But I don't want to make any schedules with that until we get a little bit like halfway through the season. So.
Before we go here, how do we? Oh, team. Okay, team. Okay, I wasn't on the right
Yep,
thing
you
here.
can move your
There
team
we
around.
go. Now I'm on the right screen to move people around. Okay, I feel a little better now. I like this. I actually like this new setup here.
Yeah.
it's just taking me a bit to get used to. I feel like a boomer.
Well, I am. I have one of my coworkers that I teach with is retiring this year, and when he goes, I become the oldest teacher in my entire school district.
Oh man.
So, I'm feeling pretty damn old.
There's going to be it's so weird learning recently here in San Diego. There's going to be an influx of young teachers because of their budget issues. They offered this golden handshake deal.
Yeah.
Where like a lot of older teachers will get like extra
buyout kind of thing.
Yeah, like another year's pay spaced out or another couple years even, depending on some of their longevity and keeping like their full healthcare and stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of teachers more teachers than they expected in San Diego Unified, which is the second largest district in the state, took that offer. It's 176 schools in that district.
Wow. Wow.
Well, LA is the only one that's bigger. And my cooperating teacher is one of those who took that handshake. So maybe there's an opening for me there.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
35 years for her.
Yeah. This is year 31 for me. So, yep. I mean, I didn't start teaching until I was 30. So I've got, this year's freshman are supposed to be my last senior class, but the state changed the rules to where I could retire a year early and my full retirement. And I just told my wife about it. And And she said, well, I'll still be working. I said, yeah, I know that, but he said, I'm not planning on not working. I said, I'm just going to not be doing that anymore. And I'll be, find something else to do where it's not quite as stressful and I don't have as much stuff to do after work. And I said, anyway, I'm 4 years older than you are. You're going to be using my pension a hell of a lot longer than I am. And she looked at me, she said, which one of us has fucking cancer? And I said, God damn it. There's that fucking Uno pick 4 reverse card she just threw down on me there. So I was like, I'm never going to fucking retire.
Wow.
So yeah, I guess I'm in no hurry to go anywhere. So I still like my job about 98 days out of 100. So I think if you feel that way about anything, that's not so bad.
Yeah, no, agreed.
So
I'm excited about
what field, what area are you looking to get? Are you getting into?
Elementary. I'm going for a multi-subject credential and masters, and I'm thinking like upper elementary is more my strong suit.
Yeah,
but I'm looking forward to being full time. This is the semester from hell, doing my like TPA requirements and got to deal with my masters as well. But I know it's going to be so rewarding once I can actually get in there full time in.
Good deal.
Holy cow! Like 5 months.
Yeah, my daughter, my wife taught for a number of years. She actually taught at a preschool that was run by the White House in DC. Yeah, and then my daughter is a 4th grade teacher on the Cherokee Indian Reservation down in North Carolina, and absolutely loves it there.
I know a couple of teachers who are up on the Pala Reservation here in Southern California.
Yeah, she absolutely loves the people she works with, love the kids, the whole setting. It's
Is she from Carolina?
No, she's from Ohio. She went to Western Carolina. She found that school, and it was kind of funny because I had one of my students yesterday actually had a Western Carolina sweatshirt on. I was like, well, where'd you get that? She said she went there on a college visit over Valentine's weekend. I said, well, my daughter went there, and she still lives right across the street from campus. She rented a place in a bigger apartment, but she got about a 20-minute drive to work.
Catamounts, right?
Yeah. It's about a 40-minute drive west of Asheville. So the hurricane that rolled through there missed her by about 20 miles. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Western Carolina because Cal had a transfer quarterback from there.
Okay.
But
a marching band.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, she did fly
the question
for 3 years.
Yeah. The question for me is, where am I going to be in August? Am I going to be down here or back up in the Bay?
Well, what kind of, are you definitely staying in California then?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm not moving again. It's either down here in San Diego or back up to the Bay.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could say I didn't move because my classroom was also my mom's 2nd grade classroom, and she's 82.
Wait, your current classroom?
The room I teach in was her classroom when she was a 2nd grader.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Yep. So it still has the old coat closets with the big wooden doors on them. I got a shit ton of storage in my room, but we've only got 4 buildings in our district, but we're consolidating buildings here pretty soon. So our junior high kids are moving into our high school. So
it's gonna be like a 6-12.
I'm not sure it's either 6 or 7. I know 7 and 8 are coming for sure. I don't know if 6 is coming or not, but yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey fellas, I think I'm gonna take off. If you guys want to continue on, I'll let you go. But other than that, I'm gonna take off.
I'm gonna try to get 2 or 3 more episodes up on YouTube tonight before I go to bed.
Well, I think the chat's gonna end when you leave.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too.
But
I hate to do it, but I need to stop the recording too. So
not a problem. Have a great
thanks
evening,
to everybody
gentlemen.
who's managed to listen to all this.